podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for being you.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I want to fight.
UFC production.
But it's gonna be very difficult for both of us.
Boxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a long time. We are back. Hashtag TBV Podcast. If you want to follow along with the exciting conversation that we're going to be talking, obviously Mayweather and McGregor had their media day workouts, and me and the Hipster Hunter, packed our bags and headed out for travel, made it to Las Vegas, and we were in the UFC Performance Center or Institute and at the Mayweather TMT gym. We're also going to talk about the infamous sparring footage. Is it a push? Is it a knockdown? Did he hook his head? Is Paulie lying? And bottom line, did Team McGregor break the boxer's code of ethics? And not only that, but kind of clown about it on All Access Showtime that aired Friday night. Plenty of other topics and things to get into, but before we get into all that, let me jump out to both of my co-hosts. I got the Hipster Hunter here today. We're going to head on out to the Golden State. Matt, glad you made it back safe.
Dollar DiBiase production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
Boxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy. I wish.
Boxingvoice.com.
Yes, if you're haters, where obviously we had Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor's media workouts this week. Obviously, we had Dana White leaking the footage. It seems that the promotion, the hype for this fight is definitely hitting that overdrive mode where everything is hitting. They're trying to get on every platform. They're trying to hit all the marks, all the demographics. And we're only 2 weeks away. I mean, we're very close to seeing something that we're never going to see in our lifetime, potentially. So this is huge, regardless of how competitive this matchup will be. Now, what do we think of the knockdown / push? I think that's what everyone really wants us to talk about. That's what everyone wants to talk about. And obviously, we're going to get into it, and I cannot wait to chop it up with Ness, Steven, and the callers.
Speaking of the super producer, it's been a long time, but he joins us today, also in the Golden State.
There'll be nothing but smooth sailing.
What's up, Boxing Voice family? Welcome back, gentlemen. It's good to have you guys back. I don't know about the rest of the TBV family, but I know I can say I truly, truly missed you guys. I saw a lot of interesting footage. I can't wait to chop it up. The greatest thing about all the video clips that you guys all were able to share with us, the thing that made me most excited was everything I know that I missed in between shots, in between clips. And I really can't wait to chop it up with you guys, and I'm sure the rest of the fans can't wait either.
Oh yeah, man. Let's jump into it. Actually, I'll ask you guys which way do we go first? I mean, it's really all Paulie, all Mayweather, all McGregor, all access. So, where do we start? The knockdown, all access, the media workouts. I mean, watching McGregor firsthand. I mean, that had to be, first of all, I want to say, sorry for the pause there. I want to say I feel blessed. I wasn't expecting to get into the UFC gym, and I don't feel blessed for being in the UFC gym. I feel blessed to be able to make Matt happy. I mean, you had to see Matt's face. those that follow my vlog, you'll see it. But Jesus Christ, this kid was ecstatic.
Yo, I was in a good mood. Why are you hating?
He could not believe that he was in that UFC gym. But let's go in order. We went to Floyd Mayweather's media workout Thursday in Las Vegas, and it was a hot day. Mayweather provided a lot of water. But I'm going to have to jump back and forth and comparing the two, even though I understand, I know Matt has a figure. How much did the UFC spend in that institute?
Ooh, I can look it up very fast. I forget, but it was in the millions, obviously.
Yeah, I heard something like 10 million. It sounds low. I might be wrong with the number, but if 10 million is the number, that's still a lot more than Mayweather's gym. And, I'm going to just say right out the door, I know that's not Conor's gym, but wow, they know how to take care of you, okay?
Very quickly, there's different reports of it. By the way, the LA Times says it's 12 million. MMAfighting.com says it's 14 million. So let's say it's in the ballpark of 12 to 14 million dollars.
Look at that. I had a tip said 10. So, whatever. That sounds like a lot of money. You can make like 20 Mayweather gyms with that amount. And I felt it. It had everything it needed. Only what we got to see in that huge room that we were in, it was more than enough. But the spread, they weren't playing any games. It felt good. It felt good to actually step on that ring apron that says McGregor and UFC, the infamous ring apron that, you see in our thumbnail here. The one Paulie's laid across. So that was good. It was interesting to see all the kind of CrossFit and American Ninja Warrior type of equipment that was in that gym. For real. I mean, that was, listen, McGregor was interesting to say the least. That whole chicken wing stretch thing, I know people are having a ball with it on video, but to be there live, first of all, that Versace robe, you got to give him snaps for that. Come on. I mean, look, in a world that we live in, especially you're going up against Mayweather, he's holding his own. Mayweather's used to be in the flashy, cocky. I mean, this guy's whipping up in the green Lamborghini, jumping out in what is it? He said Donatella Versace personally delivered that robe to him. That was impressive. The shorts, I believe he said, were people thought they were tie shorts. I don't know. Did he say Gucci?
He said there was something. They were a brand. They were Gucci. They were Versace. They were something.
They were a brand, and he's no different than Floyd in the sense that he's definitely throwing out, if not numbers, ballpark numbers, or just basically saying, get my robe. That cost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to leave that one. But the boxing, he did about, I'm going to give him credit and say he did about 12 rounds of workout in front of us.
It was 12 rounds.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I counted.
He was getting bored because he kept going back and forth to the same bags. And I didn't know.
Yeah, but can't that be expected for UFC fighter to get bored if they're just going to be doing strictly boxing training? I mean, I saw, from what I could see in some of those videos, I saw him run up, throwing them high knees, leading up to the bag before he started hitting it. And instantly I'm like, okay, is he planning on using that for a fight? Or is that just keeping himself entertained?
No, let me tell you something. First of all, about those high knees and anything that we've seen, you hit the nail on the button right there. Or that was definitely the wrong phrase. You hit the hammer on the nail on the hammer on the nail, whatever. The point is, he was doing it all for show. The whole stretching with the arm was for show. Every time he attacked the bag, he jumped at it, was for show. He did like a karate kick. Everything was for show. Why? Because it gets us talking. It gets us talking. I mean, look at the way he was throwing those uppercuts, for God's sake. There's nothing that's going to make me believe that is really how he's going to fight. He knows exactly what he's doing. He played it up no different than Mayweather. It felt like he watched, which he did, and he admitted, Mayweather's media workout, because Matt, you said it yourself. You would think he was going to the ring. Everyone was, standing around like the heavy bags, and all of a sudden Conor made a hard right and was like, nah, I'm going into the ring. And then he went from the ring and he jumps out, and they're literally chasing him. It felt like a stampede could happen too. I mean, check our Instagram.
Let's not forget, Conor left the room for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. Soon as he started. But you know what? I got the feeling as soon as he got his hands wrapped, he had the urge to piss. Why else would he leave and come back like that? He's the only one that really left. I think he had to piss, and it was like, fuck, I got to piss. So he walked off, came back.
Ness, I got to ask for everybody listening, what tells does a man have to show to signify to you that he's got to piss? Was it the way he was jumping around? What is it? What's the inside that you know?
Printed out of the room that, I don't know, maybe 200 people were there to fucking see him with cameras, and none of his team follows him. It seems like he's got to piss. Well, I mean, unless,
Yo, they threw it in Creed for a reason. If we all remember Creed, he had, as soon as he had his hands wrapped, I gotta take shit. It happens.
Yo, and look, he could say what he want, but he's probably never seen this much media for him. This is, the magnitude is totally different. But we got to talk about the sparring and All Access because they tie into the two. But Matt, give us your experience on because I'm really only talking about McGregor, because Mayweather, while it was all the same thing that I'm used to, it was still nice, man. Like, it was just nice to see him do it. Like, dude, he looks like a machine doing it. I mean, there's no fatigue. The way that his team works with him, I mean, you've seen it. The minute he stopped shadow boxing with the weights, his team is massaging his calves, his shoulders, 2 different masseuses. I mean, it's crazy. I get it. I get it. Some will say it's excessive or unnecessary, but he's 49-0.
It looks like a
work.
His training sessions always look like well-oiled machines. Everybody knows where they're supposed to be. Everyone knows what to do. I look at it and I was questioning the whole time. I was like, okay, who is his lead trainer for this? I would imagine it'd be Roger, but he's done it so many times. It looks like, yeah, exactly. And you could tell he steps away from the bag after he's done working it, and he'll take 2 steps. He'll go whisper something to like his cousin's ear or something like that, and they know exactly what to do. They all fall in. I know it's gonna be funny to say, but kind of like during the press conference, he's like, "Yo, form Voltron." Like, everybody just knows what to do on cue.
Well, my perception of the 2 different media workouts and the differences and Mayweather's and all that, there was like a lightheartedness. Like, there was like a fun atmosphere at the Mayweather gym. The UFC Performance Institute, the Conor McGregor workout, that was more intense. It seemed way more serious. You can just tell by that, like the atmospheres were different. The boxing media weren't really at the McGregor workout. They were mainly at the Mayweather workout. And the MMA media were at both.
Let's be real.
What?
There was boxing media.
No, I didn't say there wasn't any. Hold on. I said, but
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there wasn't any. There was only about 4. Like, when there's 4 boxing people, that's wrong. Like ESPN, Ring, Fight Hype, ourselves, and
Fight
Michelle.
Hub. Not Fight Hub.
No, Fight Hype.
Fight Hype wasn't there, were they?
Of course. You don't know how he looks. He was there.
Fight Hub was there.
Yeah. Marcos Vieja was there, and Michelle was there. That's it. And obviously, the Ring, your boy was there for the Ring. And we were there for us.
And I'll just say this.
And it still was massive media there, though.
Oh, yeah. It was.
When I did a pan of the room, it was like, whoa. But that still is one of the best gyms I've ever seen. They got it right with that. I said that to you, so I know I keep cutting you off. I don't want to forget that. They got it right. Go ahead. You're the UFC guy. Just want to give you credit on that. They got it right. I wish boxing had
I know Casual Ness is very excited. He got sold and hook, line, and sinker for this fight. Conor McGregor got him. He was just infected with the magnitude of McGregor's presence. He got hyped. It's okay. Like, I understand you want to talk. You're giddy about it. It's okay.
He's a little man. He runs around calling Floyd a little man with brittle hands and a little slap head. He's very short. You're his height.
Yeah, but he's also much heavier than me. But anyways, my perception of McGregor's workout and just the comparisons overall. Most of the media doesn't seem very conflicted on this. I mean, the boxing media seems very nose up in the air attitude about this whole event. Even you were a little bit Ness when we got at the UFC Performance Institute, like you were just, ribbing me and not really wanting to get into it. That's, but most boxing heads are like that. It's just the 2 worlds colliding this week were just interesting to me. My first time being at a UFC media event, that was all just interesting to me. I can talk about it all day, to be honest. I don't want to go on and on. But they were just different. It was way more intense at the UFC Institute. It was way more lighthearted at the Mayweather Boxing Gym. It was.
Explain a bit more. What do you mean by intense?
Like the way McGregor and his team were acting, there wasn't a lot of joking. It was all very serious. Let's get to work. Mayweather's laughing. He's joking. His whole team is like that. They're having a good time. They're dancing more. I'm not saying McGregor doesn't have fun, but it just seems like it's more intense. I'm not saying that's more focused or that's going to lead to him winning. I'm not saying any of that, but I'm just saying the attitude, the atmosphere of the media workout for McGregor was way more intense than Mayweather's. Mayweather's was way more fun. It felt like it was a celebration. Like, hey, we're getting paid $300 million. Let's all just have fun, have a good time. That's what it felt like to me.
Because of the oldies music, maybe that music makes you move. But and the fact that he has more of an entourage, he obviously has a lot of women there. Outside of the guys that are actually working while he's working, there's a lot of women. So I guess the environment can seem more inviting.
Yes,
but I think that Conor was equally as entertaining and.
Well, I didn't say one was more entertaining. Come on. I didn't say one was more entertaining.
No, I know you didn't. I'm just saying I think he was equally as entertaining, but I feel he was also in a light mood, not an intense mood. I mean, he asked for the mirror. It reminded me, I'm a throwback guy. I'm a WWF guy, okay? So when he asked for the mirror, I said, oh shit, the narcissist. The wrestler, I think it was Lex Luthor or something. Luger was the narcissist at one point before he became Lex Luthor, and I was like, wow, he asked for this big ass fucking mirror. It was perfect. He knows. I mean, I love this guy as a villain. I swear, if he could go 12 rounds, he's got a boxing career. But 12 rounds is almost, well, Floyd might let 12. He's so used to doing that. I don't know, but he's saying he's gonna knock him out. They both petitioned, being in the Mayweather gym, they both put in a formal petition to the commissioner to have the gloves reduced to 8. I was speaking to Leonard Ellerby, and he's like, look, both guys want to go for the knockout. Floyd's used to fighting in 8, and McGregor's used to fighting in 4, so it makes more sense. That's their logic.
Hey, let me ask you guys this, or let me ask Matt this, actually. Matt, so you've seen McGregor train for other fights before, obviously, when he's doing it in the UFC. So can I ask, in terms of his sharpness and his performance, how is he looking comparatively? And has the restrictions, are you able to see something that's kind of over the top?
No. To me, the only thing that seems different for McGregor in this entire camp is just the magnitude of it. Like Ness says, the amount of media that are there. That's different than probably what he's ever expected. Maybe, excluding maybe UFC 205 when there's 3 title fights, first event in New York City for UFC, that was massive. That's the 3rd biggest gate in combat sports history. That may be up there, but again, this is just a different level because it's Mayweather. But he has all the same team, all the same sparring partners. He even said that in the All Access. He has the same boxing coach. Like, everything's the same. I think that's by design as well. He even says it's by design. Now, does he look any better, let's say, hitting the bag? Because I've seen him hit the bag before. I've seen him hit the bag his whole career. Yeah, maybe, but not really. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't see anything different with McGregor. I see nothing new.
Speaking of hitting that bag, watching the All Access and seeing that he made no changes in camp, and his striking coach is who he is. Like, look, there's nothing wrong with that, but he's not
just like there's levels to boxers, there's levels to trainers.
Yeah, he's no Shane McGuinness is what I'm saying. So it's like, and I hear him. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. These guys been with me from the beginning, so now we're here at the big fight.
And by the way, just for some more added context to the backstory of McGregor and his career, there was a point where basically he had an opponent and their team got sort of torn apart by one of their lead guys leaving the camp for another coach. And he blasted that team. He went at him, called him a snake in the grass, all these things because he left his team. And he said, I will always be loyal to my team. I will never leave my team. So I think it also would look bad on him because of what he said in the past to the media if he left his team for this fight. Because he always said, I'm going to be loyal no matter what. These are the guys, the day one guys, the riders. I'm never going to leave them. So for the record, he's always said that, so it's not surprising he didn't do it here.
You know, he said that in All Access for sure, that you know, they were his day one guys, but I question it, you know, in terms of going in there with the best. Can this guy that we've never heard of, us boxing fans speaking in general, can that man put together a plan to beat self-proclaimed the best ever? Is just, you know, I mean,
well, let's start.
There was this thing, Steve. Yesterday, when we were doing the live stream from the UFC, people kept saying, Ness, tell him to do the speed bag. He's never done the speed bag. I'm like, what? I don't follow Conor until now, so I didn't even know. But is that true? Because he stood away from that speed bag.
I heard the same thing of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I heard he didn't hit speed bag, and I never seen footage of him in the speed bag. Maybe somebody out there can find it.
I think it's Dylan White or Gerald Miller also are really bad at the speed bag and have recently begun to work on it. So I mean, there are high level boxers that also don't work the speed bag or the double M bag. I mean, not saying that he shouldn't or that he can. I don't know. I've never seen him do it from my memory, but again, I'm not a McGregor addict, so I don't really, you know, catalog every training montage footage I've seen of him.
Also, we could chop it up for minutes about what these particular workouts actually do in terms of like helping a fighter's performance. But the question, or what I was essentially going to allude to, was, well, let's start talking about what are the little things that are different in McGregor's camp. Like, first of all, like, let's look at our top box. Right, our first topic, you know, he did bring in Joe Cortez. I remember seeing an interview with him saying he wanted to bring Joe Cortez in, a professional referee and a Hall of Famer, and somebody who can watch him to make sure he was following the rules. That seemed to be in the media scrum, that he was really emphasizing that he wanted everyone to know that he was going to be following the rules, and he was doing everything he could to make sure that he followed those rules to a T.
Yeah, but you could give him credit for bringing in Joe Cortez, which is good because, you know, it gets you in the groove of following boxing rules when you're accustomed to, you know, grappling and hitting on the floor. But you're still bringing in the same two sparring partners that you've been sparring with all your fucking life. And those guys are not as fast as Mayweather. They're not as conditioned as Mayweather. They don't do the things that Mayweather does. So, you know,
let's take a look at the third man in our top box. The third man in our top box is Paulie.
Yeah, but even the leaked footage of Paulie, you seen him get hit with the straight left with a horrible version of the shoulder roll. It felt sad watching it.
Yo, that was all shoulder, no roll. Like, he ate that straight to the face.
Straight left. Like, it was, yo, man, I'm surprised his head get popped off with that punch.
Yeah, but come on, we've all seen Paulie's retaliation. It's been nonstop for the last like day and a half, 2 days. You know, Paulie even said that was at 12 rounds or 11 rounds. He had already been tired. Paulie's coming off of long layoff. Who knows how much Paulie's even been training? And then you got to throw into consideration, you know, what Paulie, if you take Paulie's word for it, the flight, things of that nature. Don't you think that's worth mentioning and considering in that punch, that one instant in what is said to have been 12 rounds of sparring?
Well, very quickly, we do know for one thing that Paulie is not the most honest person in this entire situation.
Whoa.
Let me say, we can say without a doubt that that's not 100% of a push. The knockdown, not the left hand that landed clean, that has everyone really talking. The knockdown, or the alleged knockdown, I should say. That wasn't a push. He may have been off balance and got hit with something and fell down, but that wasn't a push. So I don't think I can't trust anyone in this situation unless I see footage. So I'm not going to trust Conor's team. I'm not going to trust Paulie because they're both biased. They're both in it to defend their name and their brand.
What about the case that Paulie has been presenting on Twitter? The fact that it might not necessarily be a full-on, you know, two-handed push per se, but you know, he was alluding to the fact that because of the conflicting style and the way Conor's hand was over the back of Paulie's neck, and after that punch landed, what it essentially did was
You're caring too much about it, in my opinion. I think if you're dissecting a knockdown I'm using air quotes for everyone on the podcast.
Second clip.
If you're dissecting a knockdown that much when it most likely in any regular fight would have been ruled a knockdown, let's just be real for a second. In a majority of fights, I'm not going to say what percentage, but a majority of fights, that's ruled a knockdown. So let's not dissect it too much. That wasn't a push. We can say that without a doubt that wasn't a push. We can't say without a doubt that was a knockdown. I'll give you that. But we can say without a doubt that is not a push because we saw no effort from McGregor to use that left hand that was over his head to push him down. We saw no movement. We saw nothing. It wasn't a push. So Paulie, to me, and whether you don't agree with me or not, Steven, that's fine. But the majority of the public is thinking that this is a knockdown. The optics of this is horrendous. The optics of this show that Paulie's a liar. I'm not saying that's necessarily the reality, but that's the optics of it.
Well, I'd be really interested to hear what Joe Cortez has to say about it, although I'm seeing certain articles that are claiming that Joe Cortez didn't see the incident that led to Paulie being on the ground. He didn't see it, although I mean that's a quote from MMAfighting.com. I don't know. It's hard to know these MMA sites who's trustworthy and who's not. However, I will say this.
Why is it hard to trust MMA websites?
Oh, no, I'm saying I wouldn't know which ones to trust because I don't follow MMA. Whereas like boxing, I know which sites are kind of more credible than others.
Okay.
So that's why I brought up which site it is that said this, and it was a sparring partner that was also there who said that Cortez wasn't able to see it. From what I see in the video, Cortez should have been able to see that.
Absolutely. I don't know.
Although it's hard to understand what a referee can and can't see in the ring, but was Cortez there at the media workout if Cortez has been,
No.
quote unquote, around the camp?
No, and remember he signed a non-disclosure agreement just like Paulie did. So we
all know how that worked.
Yeah, that non-disclosure.
That's Paulie though.
I don't think anyone signed it because Paulie. Look, even All Access showed Paulie on his shows talking about the shit in detail, and he's been on Twitter in detail. I mean, there's nothing been signed, man. Again, it could still all boil down to being staged, bro. Like Paulie said.
I don't think
like
that.
Paulie said in All Access.
Paulie's credibility. Why would he even fucking risk that?
Like Paulie said in All Access, they could release the whole 12 rounds. They could release different angles.
Doesn't matter. They released the knockdown. That's the part that was.
Like he said, when it happened, they continued like nothing. No one made a big deal because they all knew it was a push. That's what Paulie said.
That's great. But we saw the punch. We saw the alleged knockdown. So we don't need to see all 12 rounds when that is the point of contention. That's what led to this was that picture. Right? It's not about, who won the 12 rounds. We don't care about that. We really do not care about that. Let's be honest.
He hooked his glove, his glove like hooked his headgear, some shit. I don't know. Look, it's up to you guys, the listeners, the people that are going to call in 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time if you want to voice your opinion here on this subject and others. Matt, I know you got a few other topics for us. What's on the docket?
Do you want to address the All Access at all? Do you want to talk about that in any detail?
Sure. I mean, I've been talking about it. A lot of what I've been saying came straight out of the episode. They're still trying to paint that Mayweather's not training narrative, but you and I being there in person Thursday, obviously he looks phenomenal. They both do. McGregor, again, that dude's quads are serious. For real, dude. I mean, I wonder. People right? Because you see guys talk shit about Wilder and his little legs, right? They say can't take a shot because he got little legs. So I wonder, does a guy with bigger legs take better shots? I mean, is he able to endure more because of that? I don't know. I'm just asking since everyone is against having thin legs.
I don't really think it has anything to do with punch resistance. It may add to punching power, more likely. Punch resistance to me is usually genetic, in my opinion.
I have I only have like my personal opinion about this. I don't have any medical background following me into the statement, but it's like I know that when I was growing up, I used to do lots of long distance running, and the more powerful muscles you kind of had, for like those 26-mile runs. They always say a fight's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're that that strength you have in your legs is able to keep you going in that later part of the distance. So I think that it might help in terms of giving him like a good stability of where he's going to be at in terms of if he's taking a lot of punches, if he's throwing a lot of punches and he's getting tired, it's good to have strong legs underneath you as opposed to weak ones. That being said, I also see really scrawny ass guys with like no leg muscle run marathons faster than anyone else I've ever met. So, you know.
Funny that he says that phrase about boxing being a marathon and not a sprint. And then you speak to conditioning coaches and boxers and they tell you do sprints. You know, just a little funny. You know, sprints and long runs.
That's kind of also a newer thing. Back in the day, fighters used to just do long runs.
Yeah. I mean, you know, with all the sports medicine now, I mean, that's why I'm saying. That's why, you know, I laugh. I know that people are gonna laugh at me, and I'm gonna get the worst comments on the internet. But that's why I laugh when people try to compare these two different eras. I think that these fighters in the generation that we live in have an advantage. I mean, look at Conor and that facility. Shit, you could do some serious training in there, bro. They have everything for him. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, Floyd had everything as well, and dozens. Did you see that, Matt? Dozens of heavy bags just laying around, not around, like in a heavy bag cemetery.
Forest.
And Floyd is always going to be Floyd. I mean, picture if you can, or find a picture because you can, Floyd's ring surrounded by about 300 media dudes, Matt included, on the apron. And
one of the TMT guys wanted to take me out, man. He was pushing me off that rope.
I didn't get that.
I had a prime spot. I had a prime spot on the rope. Right?
Because of
Matt, please elaborate. Please elaborate.
Oh, I'm gonna go in because we were on this. I was on the smaller ring, right, or the lower one, and everyone's around the big one.
Because of me,
not because of you.
Whatever. Me and my uncle had that on Smash right there.
Okay, fine. Oh no, you're right. You guys were holding the spot because I was doing work.
As soon as I walked away, Matt got fucking stampede.
You guys were sitting there drinking water. I was working. Anyways, digressing to my point. So I'm sitting there, and Mayweather comes out. You know, he's doing his thing, and he walks around the big ring, and obviously he does the same thing he does for every time. Hops in the small one, and he has 300 media members swarm that shit.
Stampede, not swarm. Someone get killed in there, bro, with the shit that goes on. I mean, caught it. McGregor, we gotta talk.
We'll call you Mufasa Matt from now on.
Yo, we gotta talk about that girl at the McGregor fucking media day, okay? I mean, first of all,
what girl? Esther Lynn. Esther Lynn. Shout out to Esther Lynn, the best photographer in combat sports history.
I want to know who was running that show that let that woman jump on top of that steel cage that holds the heavy bags.
That was Showtime.
Now, obviously, that's not gonna fall. We all know those things are welded at the joints, and then they're screwed into the floor with cement screws, nuts, and bolts. You know what I'm saying? But she can fall, and that is one hell of a lawsuit. Now, obviously, if she's a kind-hearted person, she'll just be like, "No, I know I got up there. I didn't belong my little ass up there, and I fell okay." But even the way she went down, I thought she ripped the finger off because she put her finger inside the loop of the bag. You know how the heavy bags come.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I put my hands on like that. Oh shit. Because I thought it was coming right off her low ass. Because she thought she was gonna hug the heavy bag with like her legs, like the way you jump, the way a female jumps around a man. Man, that shit did not happen. I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna see that little Chinese finger flying on the floor.
Very quick. Ness was like a kid the first time at Disneyland when he was in the UFC Performance Institute because he had no idea what was going on. He was just in awe of everything. But anyway, back to the Mayweather thing. Back to the
wait a minute. I was like a kid at Disneyland. Well, then you were like, I don't know, a high school girl at the prom, right? Because as soon as he seen some dude with.
Dude, it was Forrest Griffin, dude. Shout out to Forrest Griffin. UFC light heavyweight.
Former. I met that dude once too at a bar. He's really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Hey Matt, his voice got high as hell. He was like, "What's up, champ?" I'm like, "Damn."
Anyways, back to the Mayweather thing or the TMT thing. So everyone's swarming the shit, and one of his entourage team members, whatever, comes up and he's like, "Excuse me," and I'm thinking he has to get in the ring. So I'm trying to move over. No one's moving. So I'm elbowing fucking media members to get out of my fucking way. This TMT guy who weighs 300 pounds is fucking on top of me, standing on my feet, and then he just stays there. So now I'm squished between a 6'5" guy, a 6'2" guy that weighs 300 pounds, and my little ass self. And then Ness gets up behind me and pushes me to the rope. So I'm like fucking suffocating at this point. I almost wanted to deck the TMT guy, but thank God, he's 300 pounds and I'm 130 pounds. I'm smart enough to not do that. But damn, fuck that shit.
Lie, Matt, you're 126.
I'm probably never doing a Mayweather media day in my life again. It's just too much. It's too crazy.
It's worthless too. Like,
it's 100% worthless.
It's all media scrum.
You don't get any exclusives with those guys. Now we did get exclusives with like Chris Eubank Jr., Bermain Severn. So go check that out on our YouTube page for sure. Bermain Severn definitely talked about the Wilder fight, so go check that out. But again, those are not what we're there for. No offense to those guys, but we're there for Mayweather. We're there for McGregor, and you don't get any exclusives unless you're a big time outlet.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's nothing else that happened like in between scenes, something that we haven't had a chance to post yet that you guys could talk about.
In the gyms?
Yeah, specifically in the gyms. Just because I'm at the point, I'm kind of just a bit more curious. Like again, the Conor thing, like when he's doing all that weird loopy stuff, like was there anything more that he was doing, or did he like was somebody there like explaining it? Was it just to stay loose? What is that?
Stitching back to the All Access where they showed his movement coach, right? And his name is Ido Portal is his name, and he's been with Conor McGregor for a while now. And basically, he's just there to do those weird exercises, those weird stretches where it's supposed to design to improve movement, and Conor McGregor's huge in it. So all of those weird stretches, those weird footwork things, those are all Ido Portal, who has no experience in combat sports, who is a movement coach, a self-described movement coach. I don't know what the fuck that is, but shout out to Ido Portal for getting that paycheck from $1 million fighter.
Well, I mean,
I know that you could like
stretches for sure.
I know that it's certain like health, like if you're gonna go into kinesiology, you can have like an emphasis on movement. So I'm sure that there is. He's got some type of like accolades that kind of support his theories on what he decides to do. Okay, but what about training gloves? Did you guys what weight were they using? Yeah, but do you have an ounce? Do we know what they were training with?
6. It looked like he had on 10 ounces already though. Power lines.
You're right. No, he did. Because remember, we saw all the gloves at the Mayweather gym. Remember, because they lay them all out on the big ring, and they were all 10 ounces, I believe.
So they're both training, like when they were doing all that media day work, they're both using 10-ounce gloves the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
And they are still trying to get the 8-ounce gloves for the fight.
Yeah, but it's 2 weeks out. Usually you already, you want to get used to the 10 ounces because it's a lot smaller than the 16s, and punches could, easily loop around 10 ounces. So you want to start getting used to that, 16 ounces is strictly for practice, sparring. So basically the world believes that knockdown. And that really is what matters. Like on the All Access, this guy, I don't know who he was, but he's like, oh, Conor told me he was sparring, but this time he said he was sparring Malignaggi. So I was interested because I never seen him spar a 2-division former champ. You know what I mean?
Oh, that guy was Lorenzo Fertitta, the former owner of the UFC and owner of a lot of Las Vegas casinos and hotels.
Well, there you go. He came personally invited by Conor to watch the sparring session. So I felt like his scene was put there to kind of emphasize, hey, Conor just beat up a world champion. And this guy who's obviously important, that Matt just said, took the time out of his day to come watch it. And they want to paint that. And at this point, I think the job is done because they've kind of done that on social media with the Instagram videos that Dana White released, multiple videos that he released. showing Paulie in different lights. So his credibility with the hardcores, because the hardcore fans are the ones on social media. You know what I mean? You get the occasional casual that comes out on Facebook and rants, gets it off his chest. But, the Twitters and the Instagram guys, those guys are the YouTubers. They're the hardcores for sure. And with all that footage, his credibility is a little bit shot, questioned.
It's concerning. I'll be this way. If I'm Paulie or his management or whatever, his agent, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned at this point.
Wait, what makes you concerned?
When you are no longer in boxing and you're part of the media, which Paulie is. Paulie is a part of the media. Whether we think about it or not, he is media.
All publicity, good publicity.
He just fought in April.
That's great, but he's retired and he's an active member in the media, which is my point. You can't lie. That destroys your credibility within the media.
But wait a minute. So you're 100% certain that's a knockdown?
Also, I don't think Paulie qualifies.
I don't know what my opinion is of it really. Hold on very quickly, Steven. But like you said, the public perception of it is a knockdown. So regardless of what the reality is, what the public thinks is often the new reality.
Yeah, but I don't think you lose your job.
I'm not saying he loses his job, but I'm saying this does hurt him. This does lead to less interviews.
Well, let's be real. Paulie's not necessarily part of the media. Paulie works for an entertainment company. Showtime is not media. Showtime is entertainment. So he's not part of the boxing media like the way, the Boxing Voice is part of the.
I'll put it this way. Is Joe Buck and all of them that, hold on, is all the people that work for Fox, CBS, NBC that commentate football, are those guys media?
No, I would argue that I would argue that if you're being
Charles Barkley media.
I would argue if you're being brought in as a color commentator, you're somebody with experience in the field. You're not necessarily media. No, I would say you're part of the entertainment. I'd say you're part of the entertainment.
You're working within the media field.
Perhaps you're being fed information that's gained from the real media, but you're not yourself. I would say.
And what is Paulie?
Of course,
I think Paulie is a correspondent, but he's media, and you know that. Hold on, you went to journalism school, Steven. You should know this. You should know how important credibility is when you.
I understand that. I understand that, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily part of the media. So I don't think I don't think it affects him the same way.
It does. Unfortunately, it does.
I don't see how it affects him when Mayweather goes out, and if he does what the world is expecting to do, Paulie continues his, I told you. That's why he didn't show the 12 rounds. I kicked his ass.
Doesn't matter.
It does. That's you. You got to
lie. The lie. People think he's a liar now. People think he's a liar.
You think? I don't think that.
I think that. But let's be honest here. The public thinks he's a liar. Look at our chat. Look at Twitter. Look at Facebook. The public thinks he's a liar.
All right. The public could think what they want.
There are consequences to that.
I don't believe Conor until I see a clear video.
We saw the video. It doesn't matter.
It's not clear.
The public perception's already made. It's never going to change.
Listen to me.
I know you're not the public, but you're not reality. The public's narrative.
All right, but we're talking about you and me.
Me and you, unfortunately, do not matter.
I asked you, do you believe it?
I don't think it was a knockdown, but I don't think it was a push.
People watch our show that we always sit here and give our opinion. We don't give a fuck about others' opinions.
But that is a reality, and there are consequences to people.
All right, Steven, I'm gonna move on to you. Do you believe it?
And I don't believe it. I don't believe the knockdown only because one, it didn't. You hear a little bit of what Joe Cortez says, and he doesn't say like stop or try to separate them. From the little bit that you get, it's only like a half a second. Also, I totally buy into the fact that when you're orthodox fighting against a southpaw, it's very easy to trip feet. Whether or not it was a push, I think you can argue the definition of a push, but I think whether or not it was a clean knockdown, I don't believe it.
You can argue the definition of push. No, you can't. If it's a trip, it's not a push.
Well,
like I said, like I said, the very beginning of the show, I'm not saying it's a knockdown, but it's definitely not a push.
Well,
that's not a push.
This is my thing. Right? The video doesn't show a clear knockdown, right?
Agreed.
It shows a little
the knees up.
First of all, we didn't even talk about how he was hitting Paulie with those little slappy ass punches.
A couple of hammer fists while Paulie was back and forth.
I mean, no disrespect at this, but he did you know, I don't mean any disrespect to the women, but he looked like a girl throwing them punches at Paulie's face when his head was down, and you could hear the shots like pat, pat, pat. It was just slappy, not sloppy, slappy, kind of with the inner part of the glove. But outside of that, since I can't see clear footage and All Access tells us he chooses what cameras get to stay on, yeah, I can't go based off just that. Not only that, the All Access scene, Steven and Matt, where he's
All Access came before the leak, by the way.
Exactly. But this All Access now shows him laughing. And, you know, they're like, oh, Paulie's mad about the leak. And he's like, did he have leak insurance or some shit? I don't remember verbatim. I'm sure you did. He was sitting with his leg outside of the Lamborghini, just laughing at the fact that he broke boxing ethics. Like, that shit, you don't do that. Like, Shawn Porter beat Paulie Malignaggi, and he told Sean Zattel yesterday the same thing, that he broke the code of ethics between fighters. When you bring in someone for sparring, you don't fucking show anything, let alone paint him in a bad light. So if a guy is capable of doing that in that fashion to build his name up, to sell tickets, whatever the case may be, I have to question him. Even though I know it's hard because he's the same type of stand-up man that doesn't get rid of his team and brings them to the big dance. But he's still the same fucking scumbag that leaks shit out and laughs about it.
Scumbag, really.
Wasn't it Dana White that released the footage? Wasn't it Dana White?
Yes, it was Dana White.
Dana don't have the authority. Dana don't have the authority. That's fucking
great. Team. Time out. Scumbag.
Yes.
Hold on, time out.
If you laugh about it, man, listen.
I am laughing at it.
Let me finish. If you leak something and you leak it and you stay quiet and you act like you don't know nothing, that's one thing. But to leak it and laugh about it on camera?
Well, we don't know if who decided to put that in there.
Come on, bro.
Let's just be honest. But anyways, back to my point. Hold on, very quickly. Let me talk. This is a show where there's multiple hosts.
I just want to be clear on what you just said. That's all. Just want to be clear on the last statement. What was your last statement?
I forget already.
Oh, shit.
But anyways, because I'm so focused on this point, you called him a scumbag. And this is my greater point. We care so much about these sparring ethics, these gym ethics. But then at the same time, we're okay with Andrew Garcia going on a racist rant.
Oh, here he goes.
Hold on. Let me talk. Ness, let me talk.
I gotta pull a race card.
Let me talk, because you talk forever. Let me talk.
Thank you, producer.
That's great. You can play that, producer. That's fine. But let's just look at the double standard here. That we care so much about gym ethics, the ethics of the sport, you know, the respect the sport deserves. But yet, the boxing has a long history of featuring more scumbags, rapists, murderers, domestic violent abusers, and we care about somebody leaking some footage to build up a fight? Like, we really care that much about that, but we won't ever talk about the other stuff. Not saying me, you, or Steven, but I'm just saying the greater public. We care more about the ethics of the game.
Yeah,
and we care about what these guys say at press
we care about that stuff too. That's why there were topics on the show.
I don't care. I will never lose sleep over somebody leaking footage of sparring to build up a fight. Sorry. Never. I would never lose sleep. I would never care about that. It would never offend me.
Let's see how he talks once I leak this footage of Robert Ortiz putting his foot up his
Yo, leak it. Drop it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We don't do that to each other.
Yo, we're going to go out to the callers because obviously Matt is on his high horse here. And it's fun, but that's why so many fighters don't allow us, who you consider media, to record sparring. You know?
Yeah.
So when it is recorded, look, you were in the camp. You were in the gym with me the other day. And when Shay was sparring right away, she was like, nope. Told her coach, the other woman's coach, no recording. There's plenty of people that do that. So what happens if that? What you think she's gonna do if that coach leaks that little 15 seconds?
My thing is, if I am sparring you, let's say, Ness, and obviously that's never gonna happen because of the weight difference. But I go to you and say, I don't want anyone filming this, and then you go and film it and then leak it after you told me no, I'm not gonna film it. That's different. But did Paulie do that? Did Paulie go to McGregor and go, yo, man, I don't want anything leaked. I don't want you filming this. I don't want Showtime using this. I don't want the UFC to use this. Were there any of those discussions? I'm not saying there wasn't. I'm saying I just don't know. If there were those discussions, McGregor was like, yeah, we're not going to release anything.
You said earlier that Paulie had to sign a non-disclosure, right? So wouldn't you assume from that okay, then none of this what's going to be said and done
a non-disclosure agreement is not a two-way contract. A non-disclosure agreement is not a two-way contract.
Yo,
yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry.
Listen, you heard Paulie on All Access.
And Paulie knew there was cameras there. He could have easily said, no sparring. I don't want anything released. But he didn't.
You heard Paulie on All Access, man. He said, at one point, I thought it went through my mind, they're going to use this as a knockdown. You know what I mean? We'll never know. And like you said, some people will think like you and others will give him the benefit of the doubt, give him the fact that we've never heard of him being knocked down in sparring. And I'm pretty sure, Steven, can you check the number of times that Paulie Malignaggi has been knocked down in his boxing career?
One time he's been knocked out.
Knocked out on his feet, maybe, Matt, by a referee coming in like Amir Khan.
That's the same thing.
Not knocked out. Don't give that.
Sorry. Technical knockout. Technical knockout. How many times has he been technical knockout?
Knocked out. You think laying on the floor. So don't give.
Sorry. I should clarify my point. You're right.
Credence to
just like Paulie should have. That it wasn't a push. He slipped.
Hey man, we're gonna go out to these sponsors and then get to our callers. So yeah.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to Jersey. Talk to us.
What's good, fellas? You know, when I watched that footage, it reminded me of Paulie versus Porter, and that I didn't see what McGregor throw anything clean. It looked just like some mauling, slapping, kind of, roughage. You know what I mean? It was just rough stuff. So when I watched it, I said, yo, this is like Malignaggi when he fought Porter. So I can't even discern because of the camera angle as to whether or not that was a clean. It didn't even seem like he turned his fist over, turned his punch over. It just seemed like he literally just slapped his hand, like on some hammer fist bullshit. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's public opinion. I mean, I'm sure, casual fans and the majority of people that just glanced at it, but if you got half a brain, you could look at it and say you can't see because of the angle whether or not the punch even landed cleanly. So, it is what it is. It's hype. I don't know about Paulie losing his credibility because, I think Paulie is more of an entertainment, he's a hype guy. He's an educated boxer. He knows the boxing, business inside out as far as, technical ability, whatever. But he's not really like a media guy going and getting passes to go in the locker room and scribble shit down on his pad or going there with his iPhone and getting interviews with people. He's a knowledgeable boxer and he brings a certain element to what he does within the media industry. So that's pretty much my call. Fellas, y'all be good.
All right, really quick, I want to do a quick public service announcement to my boxing fans. I need you to hit that thumbs up button. It seems our MMA fans are not happy, and they have that thumbs down very high. That's not cool at all. So get to work, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. If it's gray, make it go away. We need it blue, like the sky. What's going on, Steven, producer? I love when the producers around.
It was me.
Oh, shit.
That was him. But for me, real quick, I know that Paulie was knocked down in round 2 versus Miguel Cotto.
Look at that. Miguel Cotto. Just saying, Matthew Hunter.
That's great.
Also, against Shawn Porter, I believe it was twice. I gotta keep checking
Shawn
facts.
Porter, just a guy whose entire amateur career was at 65 and dropped Daniel Jacobs, the same guy that Triple G could not get off his.
That's awesome.
That is
Anyways,
false. That's false.
back
That's
to
false.
my
Triple
point.
G put him down. Triple G put him down.
Anyways, my point. Stainless from Nashville, Ringer has called in. So let's get to Stainless.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Yo, TBV, what's up? I'm on some of that Steven Calderon status, calling in fresh from work, at work. But I couldn't let y'all talk bad about my man Paulie like that. You know, yeah, true enough, he only known for his jab, but Paulie, it sounded like Paulie gave the real recollection of what happened during that sparring session, because it was exactly what he said. Okay, it's nice to hear from you too, Matt. It's nice to hear from you too. But that don't mean nothing to me, because you know I know Matt personally. Him and Paulie don't get along anyway, so that don't hurt my feelings. But back to what I was saying, though, McGregor, I don't even know you want to call it a knockdown. Somebody swarming you with them rapid punches look like them shits that my man was throwing at Nestor when he was fighting him with them little girly punches I was talking about, man. They need to stop that, man. McGregor's just, they setting that up for a hype job, you know what I'm saying? At best, it's gonna run that 12, and they might make it close like Madeira. You know what I mean? And try to get another fight out of it. So don't be giving that man McGregor all the props that he don't deserve for not even fighting like a boxer. Come on, man. All right, man, I'm at work, so, you know what I'm saying, like Steven Calderon. So like I always say, please make sure that you push the thumbs up on this and every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. Let me get off of here and get back to listening, man. You have a great night.
Matt, we got any more? Any more ringers? If you ever want to become a ringer, find out what the ringer is. Head on over to patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. You can become a ringer, a boomerang, find out what those perks are. They get you to cut the line or double back on a call when the topic is just that exciting. Do we have any more?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have Jabron.
Jabron, what's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, man. What's up, Boxing Voice? I've taken away from McGregor's media workout that he was in there having a psychological warfare. Basically, if you paid attention to his media workout, come on, he don't know anything about breathing. As soon as he started, he was breathing out of his mouth, and all the little antics, dancing around and using extra movement, not knowing that he's burning more energy than anything. He was trying to psych fans out to not let them know that he's really tired. So all those, putting his hand behind his back and all that, if you was paying attention, his mouth was wide open the whole time. I don't think he's ready for this boxing thing. Like, people look at boxing or look at his body and say, oh, he's in great shape. See, it's one thing of being in shape and being in boxing shape, the same as football. You could be in great shape, but not football shape. So Conor has to work on his breathing. And if you notice, when they'll tell him 30 seconds left, what do you do when 30 seconds left? You do burnout. He was dancing around, slapping, touching, and soon as they stopped, he was running to that water. So y'all really, if you true boxing fans, you really need to pay attention to those details and stop looking at the antics and look at the real. That's all I got, man. One topic that I don't know if it's true that y'all might have not brought up was Rigondeaux possibly December 9th in Lomo. I don't know how true that is or rumorville, but if y'all have more information, I know y'all guys be gladly to inform us.
I believe that Bob Arum has sent a contract to Orlando Salido and Lomachenko. I believe he said that to Steve Kim. I could be wrong about it.
He sent one to Lomachenko.
What was it?
Why would he send one to Lomachenko?
No, he said one to Salido and Rigondeaux. Did I say Lomachenko? My bad.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my bad. My bad. He sent one to Orlando Salido and Rigondeaux. That is apparently what he has said to, I believe it was Steve Kim. Let's see if that's true, and let's see if it happens.
Yo, the one thing that Gibran said that was absolutely true is you can be in shape. That doesn't mean you're in boxing shape, and that is so true. To throw punches in a ring for 3 minutes is tough, but I kind of counter Gibran's point now and say, I don't think conditioning is going to be an issue. I was there. Matt, did you get the feeling, and before you answer, obviously, did you get the feeling he was tired? Because, again, I still resort to the fact that he's doing less now. It takes more to grapple. Listen, the same way a clinch drains you, grapple.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that.
Accustomed to that.
But again, he's also fighting for 11 more minutes. So yes, you have to think about it that way. A title fight in the UFC is 5-minute rounds, so that's 25 minutes of action. A boxing fight is 12 rounds of 3 minutes, so that's 36 minutes of action. Now, did he look tired? I didn't see that, to be honest. Did it look like he got a good workout in? Absolutely. Like anyone says, throwing at the bag for 12 rounds is an exercise, regardless of what shape you're in. You're going to work up a sweat. Mayweather works up a sweat after 3 or 4 rounds. Everyone does. Because hitting a heavy bag is a very hard workout to do that for 12 rounds.
It is.
McGregor does have some cardio issues in his past. That is of some concern. But again, he didn't look like he was gassed during 12 rounds of bag work. But again, 12 rounds of bag work isn't 12 rounds of sparring. Isn't 12 rounds in the actual ring in an actual fight. It isn't 12 rounds with the best fighter, best boxer of the last 30 years. Those are all very different things. Like when you get into just a regular sparring session with your homie, when you get in there with a pro, and then when you get in there in an actual exhibition or amateur fight, your level of adrenaline dumping is completely different.
It's crazy that adrenaline, though.
So even though he did really well, he looked like he was in shape for these 12 rounds. 12 rounds of sparring with Paulie is different. 12 rounds of sparring with Mayweather is even vastly more different.
Especially under those lights.
Exactly.
20-something thousand people with about 10 million watching. That's going to be a lot. I'm going to say 5 million, maybe 5 to 7 million watching.
Well, no, there's going to be way more people watching. The buys are probably going to be around 5 million, but there's going to be at least 100 million people watching this fight around the world, at least.
Yeah, this one will move the needle for sure. Let's get out to Skype. Speaking of moving the needle, my guy's been sitting on there for some time. It looks like we got a new caller. You know who you are. It seems like your mic is hot, my friend. It should not be. All right, we're going to go to you. First-time caller. Are you a first-time caller, my friend?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna invest in a mic pretty soon, though.
No. Wait. You sound perfect. Let me just get and play the intro. You let the world know your name, where you're calling from, then you get right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Jason Primetime Petrus, Chicago, Illinois.
Jason, talk to us, brother.
So I got kind of like a mixed feeling about this whole thing. I really think, though, that it's going to lead to it might lead to a boxing match between these two. I mean, this thing has gotten on headlines and everything. They got some pretty big drama going on, and I think Conor knows now that boxing's where the money's at, dude. Like, he's not getting paid shit over there in MMA. So I do think that if things don't go his way with Mayweather, I think he actually could end up, Paulie probably will call him out or something. And, they could end up fighting in boxing, which would,
I like it.
He could have a point. He could have a point because didn't McGregor say he was going to continue a career in both fields?
I like it. I like it. I don't want to carjack your call or phone jack your call, so you can finish up.
Yeah, no, it's cool. But you know, that's very likely that will happen because you know, like I said, you know, he knows where the money's at now. I mean, look at his net worth is like what, $2 million right now. If you look after the Mayweather fight, given Mayweather is a like much bigger name, but you know, you look at his net worth after that one or that fight, it's gonna be like quadrupled. Or I don't even know, man. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna shoot up like a rocket. And so yeah, I think he's gonna he's gonna go in both fields. And if things don't go his way, and if he gets outclassed, like many think he will, including me, by Mayweather, then I think he will end up fighting Paulie. And really, I do think he has a chance against Paulie. With the whole sparring thing, he did look good. I mean, he landed flush a bunch of times, but given it was not all released, so you know, I can't go saying that he beat Paulie's ass because we only saw like 24 seconds, was it, of the whole thing. So, you know, but yeah, it's a possibility in the future that we could actually see those two in a fight.
All right, brother. I like it, Jason. Thanks for calling in. Where'd you say you were from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago in the building. Thanks for calling in.
Very quickly. Sorry.
He's gonna shit on it, guys. What?
No, I'm just gonna add some facts to his point about the net worth and everything like that because I was curious about it. At one point, he was had a net worth of about $3 million, I believe. It says in this Forbes article, but that was in 2015. In 2016, he made over $30 million in a guaranteed payment that does not include pay-per-view. And Forbes is saying basically that he is estimated to be a lot more now, but they did not have an estimate at this point.
Well, I don't know what that means.
And very quickly, he was also the one of the top 25 paid athletes in the world in 2016. So across soccer, baseball, football, boxing, MMA, every sport in the world, he's number 24th.
Yes, but I'm sure that the highest paid boxers in the world were above him, and it was he.
Well, actually, the highest paid boxers are Floyd and Pacquiao, and they are the only two ranked above him, I believe, other than maybe Canelo.
I think one of the points that I believe it was Jason was trying to allude to is that maybe he's going to realize that being the highest paid boxer is worth more than being the highest paid MMA.
I was not talking about that point at all, by the way. I'm just
copy that.
I'm just adding some facts.
Yeah, so let's get into his question because I mean his little theory because I like it. I think Paulie, especially coming off of this 12-round statement, how he beat, you know, Conor in sparring, and he wants the whole tape to be released. I can see him probably taking the fight at 54. You know, because why would Conor come down to 47 for Paulie, right?
That's catch weight. Come on, dude. You know Paulie's not going to take that 54, 10, even with 10-ounce gloves. Fuck, you could throw the headgear back on. Paulie would want to take that.
No way that fight happens at 47, bro.
Catch weights. Why not? You're already fighting a guy from a different sport. Why not catch weights?
What are you saying, 150?
I'd say 150. I say Paulie totally does 150. I think McGregor totally is able to do it considering his history fighting as far down as 145. I think both of them would be willing to make whatever weight compromise just to get at each other in front of people. The real question isn't weight. The real question is pay-per-view or not. Because would MMA
McGregor is pay-per-view?
Well, no.
Yes. Every headline he's ever done is over $1 million.
But let's be real. That's MMA fans paying pay-per-view versus Paulie.
And Matt, look, we hear you. You know, you are an expert in that field, but you gave us that same tone and head nod when we first were talking about this event.
That's great.
You swore it when it happened. So
facts change.
You are not the Conor McGregor know-all that we thought you were.
Well, my fact. Hold on.
Ness, I was on board until like 2 seconds ago.
Hold on, you're disputing my numbers. My numbers are not wrong. Every headline he's had in the UFC has done over $1 million pay-per-view buys.
I'm not talking about numbers.
That's all I was saying.
Talking about your assumptions. I'm talking about your assumptions. You assumed this fight wasn't going to happen. Now you're assuming that a Paulie fight can't happen unless it's pay-per-view.
I didn't say it can happen unless it's pay-per-view. I just said I think it's pay-per-view. You don't understand what I'm saying.
That's why we went down that street, because you said pay-per-view, and I said it doesn't have to be, and you was like, yes, anything Conor does is pay-per-view. Have you seen his
why not make 1 million pay-per-view buys?
But you see, so admit it. You are saying it has to be pay-per-view.
It makes the most logical sense, yes.
Say the words.
It has to be pay-per-view. Is that better? Okay. It has to.
I'm saying
I still disagree.
I'm saying it could be different. We don't know how well Conor does versus Floyd. I think he does.
What do you mean we don't know? It's gonna be huge.
Wait, to be fair to Matt.
Hold on a minute. I'm talking about how well he does actually fighting versus Floyd.
Oh, okay.
So I think that depends on the contract. I think he goes 12 with Floyd. Showtime gives him like a 3-fight deal. They gave Joshua one. What? No.
No. That was. I mean, I'm not laughing at it. I thought that was funny.
In terms of ratings and people like garnering attention, bro, he's up there with Joshua and Floyd.
No, I'm not disputing that. I was just laughing with you, basically. But
Ness is definitely of the mind that, like, regardless win lose, if you put on a good performance in a fight, then that still benefits your career.
It does.
I think it's questionable. I think it depends on the person. But Mayweather himself said that if McGregor goes the distance, that's a victory for himself.
Hell yeah, that's a victory, and it's a smack in the face at boxing. If Mayweather
don't do that.
Mayweather goes 12. Steven, Mayweather goes 12.
Let's not get into that argument again. Oh my god,
we lose. Mayweather goes 12, we lose, man.
No, you lose because you probably bet against that. No, I don't care if he goes 12 with Mayweather. Mayweather has been out of the ring for as long as he's been. What, almost like 2 years? Fuck that. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, and that basket sure as fuck ain't TMT.
Mayweather goes 12, and if UFC stock is gonna fucking go skyrocket.
Yeah, but boxing stock stays the same.
There's gonna be gyms at every corner. UFC
There already is. What are you talking about?
No, there's not. Some
yes,
are
there is.
down. Do a Google search. Some are shutting down.
Let's go back out.
They got businessfinder.com right there trying to sell you UFC gyms right now. So stop your bull. This guy. Let's go out to some alumni in Los Angeles. My guy, your guy.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Yo, you know it ain't no show without info. Joe, what up, TBV? Good to hear y'all back. Hey, yo. As far as the Paulie McGregor sparring, it did look like McGregor was overwhelming him with shots with those straight lefts, but that's only like 20 seconds of sparring. Regardless if it was a push down or a knockdown, the shit has no bearing on this fight. Paulie and Mayweather are on two different planets. We talking A+ supreme fighter and a B-class fighter. So those of you casual fans, small-minded, that think that's gonna make the difference because they seen McGregor land a few punches on Paulie, man, don't put your money down. Don't get clowned. Now, there's one thing Floyd said during the interview. He said it out of his own mouth. If McGregor goes 12 rounds, it's like it would be like as if McGregor won. He said that. So I'm glad that he has that mindset that he has to knock his motherfucking ass out. And I think he's been hearing what the fans are saying. If it does go 12, it's a black eye to boxing, and it's a stain on his legacy. That's all I got, brothers. That's my call. Good show. Peace.
All right, Joe.
Joe, take your own advice, Info. Take your own advice, man. Like, don't let what everyone else is saying, like, warp what you know is true. And what you know is true is that boxing has been around way before UFC, and regardless of its inception, has remained fine and will remain fine regardless of what happens that night. Win, lose, distance or not.
Very quickly, I want Ness's take on this, and you too, Steven. But Ness is the one that's really hard on the whole 12 round, the whole 12 rounds thing. If he goes 12 rounds, it's a blackout in the sport. Does that also mean a blackout in the sport if Mayweather doesn't get hit by a single punch and he outclasses him every round?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, if it's
listen,
pure domination.
Listen, it's got to look even worse than Canelo Mayweather.
Agreed.
Like that. Like every single shot has to miss. He has to completely outclass him. It cannot be close. And with McGregor's style, it is going to be close and I don't mean that way. I mean, it's going to be an inside fight. You know, he's going to be on the inside mauling. I think it's going to be like a Madeira type of thing. Like all up in there giving you, or actually no.
It hasn't been Conor's style in the UFC.
I know. Actually no, because he does a lot of that karate thing. He could be trying to sit back and, you know, use his hands to distract.
Conor is predominantly a counter striker.
It's going to be interesting because, you know, that whole karate thing that he does with those 10-ounce gloves is going to be pretty heavy. It could become bearing on the shoulders throughout the fight. But let's keep these phone lines moving. We're going out to Rico in San Antonio, Texas. Talk to us.
Yo, what's going on? Just going. McGregor's gonna knock Mayweather out and he's gonna put the nail in the coffin for boxing. Yeah.
All right, Rico. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. We're going out to Cyrus in Indianapolis. Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I want to talk to y'all about that sparring footage. Now, if you look real closely on that second camera angle, you can see that it's not a knockdown because the first thing, McGregor throws the left hand, and then Paulie, he bends down to make Conor McGregor miss with the left hand. And when he's bending, he's putting himself off balance. And then McGregor's punch ends up with his left glove and his left forearm on the back of Paulie's neck and his head. And then that further puts him off balance, and that's why he goes down. And then Joe Cortez waved his hand and see was no knockdown. So that's why Cortez did that, because it was clearly not a knockdown. I don't know why people think it's a knockdown, because the second camera angle, the one from behind, it clearly shows that it's not a knockdown.
Well, all right, Cyrus. Thanks for calling in, my friend. We got.
Hold on. Oh, that was me. Go ahead. I stepped on your.
We have a ringer, by the way, Dempsey.
Let me get this one little bit. Sorry, Dempsey, to keep you waiting, dude. But Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki back in what, 75, 76-ish?
76.
It's 15 rounds. Am I right? Didn't it go the full distance? Did that put a black eye on boxing? Because Ali.
It wasn't a boxing fight, though. It was a mixed rules fight.
But
yep,
it was 15.
Most people thought it was professional wrestling at the time. That's why. Most people thought it was staged.
So whose sport did it hurt? Did it hurt boxing?
It didn't hurt anything. This guy was MMA wasn't around back then. That was a
exactly. This was before even MMA was around. Yeah, but it still didn't hurt boxing. The fact that this guy was able to go distance with Ali. Ali was able to get him standing at certain points and able to put work on him.
Steven, that was viewed as a pro wrestling match. This fight is not that. This is a boxing fight under boxing rules. That's the difference. Most people, if you read, if you read Josh Gross's awesome book on that event, it talks about how most of the public thought that was a pro wrestling match. They thought it was worked. They didn't think it was real. There's a difference there. It just is.
All right.
All I know is it didn't.
By the way, sorry, we have Dempsey, the ringer, so let's get to him. Dempsey, you're on.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What up, guys? How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Glad to do everybody's doing good. Glad to have you back too, Steven. Glad you're back, man. Yeah, this whole I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this leaked footage has definitely helped promote the fight a lot more. It's so crazy. I mean, in some way, you can almost say that Paulie is promoting this fight more than Mayweather or even McGregor. He's the one who's really doing most of the promotion of this fight. Regarding the whole sparring situation that happened, he is. I mean, he's done tons of interviews and he's talked about it on his podcast. The details of the sparring, if anybody wants to get the true details of the sparring, listen to the podcast, and he does a good job of talking about it on Ariel Helwani's show as well too. Those are the two shows where he did really good details of talking about what happened during the session. Also, what he mentioned was that shove down, knockdown, whatever fucking people are calling it, that happened during the 8th or 9th round. He said it was like sometime later during the session. And what people are also forgetting is that the session was also ran like it was an actual boxing match. Now, when that whole knockdown, shut down, whatever people choose to look at it, me personally, I thought it was a shove down. I've examined the footage so much to the point where I tried to find the reason to call it a knockdown. I really had a hard time finding that reason to call it a knockdown. Now, McGregor did land a couple good punches. I'm not going to lie, he did. But he seems very off balance with his punches. He's very sloppy. He's finding the head, fouls a lot. Honestly, it just wasn't very impressive in my opinion. But the thing is that because the thing was being scored or looked at like a real fight, Joe Cortez, as the recent caller said, you know, when Paulie saw on the ground, Joe Cortez ruled it a split. He didn't call it a knockdown. If he called it a knockdown, you would have seen him, Shawn McGregor, go to the corner, and then Paulie get up, start getting the corner. You would have seen some kind of footage showing that, but they didn't show any of that. And out of 36 minutes of footage, you know, all they showed was just those 3 little edited clips. That was it. I'm like, wow, they couldn't show more than that. In regards to McGregor having a chance against Mayweather, I'm not sold. But you know what? The overwhelming response that you have a lot of casuals saying out there, and Matt's right. You have a lot of casuals out there actually saying, oh, Paulie Lloyd. You know what? They can think what they want. It's their prerogative. It's true. At the end of the day, I'm standing by Paulie's story, you know, and everything, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's a big event. It's a big event. That's my call.
Dempsey, thank you for your patronage and becoming a ringer. Obviously, head on over to patreon.com/theboxingvoice. You want to cut the line like my man Dempsey. Let's go out to 760, which looks like a first-time caller or a fumble. 760, first-time caller?
No, I'm not a first-time caller.
All right, brother. What's up? What's your name?
Hey, this is Sam from Norwalk, Connecticut.
Sam, what's going on? Talk to us.
Hey, I don't know what everybody's looking at, but it doesn't look like a knockdown to me. It looked like he pushed his head down low, just like Paulie said, and I think it's like overblown. It's not like he just punched him and knocked him down all the way.
Well, all right, Sam. Anything else?
All right. That's pretty much it, man. Keep up the good work on the show. Love it. I got to call in more often.
Let me ask you one question then. Let me piss Matt off. If Mayweather goes 12, good or bad for us, boxing?
It's good because everybody expects Mayweather to go 12 rounds. They never expect him to knock anybody out.
But shouldn't he be knocking out a novice?
He should. You're right. He should be knocking out a novice. Like, that's somebody's first pro fight. I mean, you know, Pretty Boy Floyd back in the day used to knock people out. So, but the Mayweather now, he's safe, and I can see him, like, trying to, like, keep McGregor on and not knocking him out. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for calling in, Sam. You know what, Matt? I like the idea of him pitching a shutout, you know, really, really outclassing him for 12. Then that, I guess maybe you can make an argument there.
And like Sam said, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go to Georgie. Go to Georgie.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say that most people, like Sam said, most people think Floyd goes 12 all the time. Like, public perception means a lot, unfortunately. Regardless of what my opinion is or what your opinion is, public perception is.
That's why it doesn't matter if it goes the distance.
Yeah, Steve,
get him.
Get him.
That's why it does matter, because people are going to say to themselves, wow, this guy had no fights.
Nope. People are going to say to themselves, wow, Mayweather tricked me again. $100 for 12 rounds and nothing.
Yep. That's exactly what people are going to say.
Nah. See, you guys don't believe nothing in Conor. Then you think Conor ain't gonna land a glove on him, huh, Matt?
I think he might land a punch.
Oh,
I think he's more likely to land an accidental knee than he is to land a fully intended punch.
I know he's gonna jump out the corner. Like the minute the bell rings, he's gonna jump in the air. I bet.
Dude, you guys seen Rigo now somersaulting across the ring? That's what Conor's gonna do, man.
I know. I seen that one on IG. Let me get out to the poor G man.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next. What great show. Thumbs up, donate. Hey, yo!
What up?
Fuck is cracky lacking. Listen, bro. Dude, let me ask a couple questions. Mr. Gibbs, do you remember when Paulie Malignaggi was talking shit about Heyman more than I was talking shit about Heyman? Until he fucking jumped the fucking pond. Then he stopped talking about PVC, how bad they were. These men on here saying that anybody got a price. How could you trust a man with that type of statement? What the fuck is that? And now you got a prize, Mr. Malignaggi. That's what you got played. How the fuck these dudes from New York talking shit, supposed to be smart, gonna go the fuck down there, get his ass beat, and think he gonna flip this shit around, dog? Come on. Come on, Paulie, bro. You ain't fooling nobody with that shit. Listen, McGregor is a special. Don't matter what anybody say. I'm not saying he's gonna win. I ain't saying shit, but this man have to be respected. He got hands. These men got hands, bro. You gotta respect this man. You can't be talking this man down. You cannot. He's there. Mayweather is there for a fight. Another thing I want to say is, Steven, how could this shit come out of your fucking mouth, bro? That fucking
You just told me to respect a guy who's 0-0 in a sport he's never fought in professionally. You want me to respect this guy so much? Get out of here, man.
Listen, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the statement that you made, that you say that Paulie's not media. Nigga, if you media, Paulie's super media. That's not even a debate. I don't even know how fucking net back you up on that shit. Make you look super, guys. This man is media all day, and what he said holds a lot of weight.
No, he's entertainment. Georgie, he's
in the fucking line.
Georgie, he's not necessarily the media. He's the entertainment. He's
Is
part of
Charles Barkley.
He's part of an entertainment company.
Is
He's not part of
He doesn't commentate on any HBO broadcast.
Media, what the fuck you talking about? I commentate it's media. What's wrong with you?
Is Shaquille? Hold on, Georgie. Let me help you out. Tag me in. Tag me in. Is Shaquille O'Neal part of the media now? Is Charles Barkley part of the media now? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Just because you're a former athlete doesn't mean you're not media anymore.
Before he even retired, he already was part of the media. If you're from a fucking mic, guess what? You're part of the media. Simple, but this has to be a fucking debate for some reason.
Tell me what kind of reporting Malignaggi does, Georgie. You tell
He's
me.
not a reporter. We didn't say he was a reporter. We said he is media.
He's media. Media is not a reporter.
Media covers entertainment.
People on sitcoms are part of media.
TMC
That's media.
TMC talk shit about everybody, and then media.
That's different. That's entertainment, dude. There's a difference.
Entertainment is part of media.
Oh my fucking God. That's all entertainment media. That's all in the same. Journalism is all in the same umbrella as media. When you talk media,
Not true.
About all these different things. That's simple. You know what?
You're confused, Georgie. Go read a book.
I'm outie.
Very quickly, we have Jose from Canada.
Take your own advice, Georgie.
We have Jose from Canada.
Jose from Canada.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain cold,
Norway.
Shorty wants that foreplay.
I'm like,
no way, gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it.
OJ.
Getting cheese like green.
Yo, Jose, I think we need to get you a new intro now, man. People don't even know the artist of that song anymore.
Like, oh, Canada.
You know, you might have to holler at DiBiase, man. Get you a new intro, bro. Because think about it, like, who remembers that?
Yeah, it goes, Jose, can you see? And then, oh, Canada.
Maybe something like that. We'll make something in. I don't know. I just have to cut out really quickly here before I heard you guys talking about All Access. Did anybody touch on the fact that Mayweather was there with that little kid, like that little kid that was dying and stuff?
No, we did not address it.
No?
Do you want to address it?
Man, only Mayweather could make something like that heartfelt and beautiful just end up turning into a total shamble, man. When he started,
Yo, I'm an $800 million fighter.
Yeah,
He's a $3 million fighter.
Don't worry about the $3 million.
Yeah, the kid with cancer in front of him. He's talking about making $800 million. He's such an idiot. I swear.
I know.
We're
man.
never getting back in that
why,
gym.
Like, you know, Mayweather's never going to be able to win people over because he's just dumb. Like, you know, the shit he says is just so stupid. And you guys are going to see right now in the next couple of weeks, sorry, Matt, but we're going to see the actual IQ of the MMA fans. These guys are Neanderthals. Like, we don't want them anywhere close to boxing, man. Trust me. Matt, you're the exception.
But here's the thing. Very quickly, Jose. Are these McGregor fans? Are these UFC fans? Or are these MMA fans? Because all three of those are different, by the way. You have people that only follow UFC.
I see them all.
Dude, you would have to write a 20-page thesis to tell me the difference between all of those.
Well, you have Floyd fans, you have boxing fans, then you have hardcore boxing fans. You know, there's other people. There's people that only watch Pacquiao Mayweather fights, and there's people like me and you who watch
Jack is
everything.
call, bro.
Everybody who loves UFC loves McGregor right now. He's like the golden boy, right? He's the poster child for it. So, I mean, you're gonna see like. My only suggestion to people like listening right now on the air is do not watch the fight at a common bar. Do not watch the fight where there's going to be a lot of meathead MMA guys because they're going to want to fight and they're going to talk shit and they're going to
Agreed.
Go to like a boxing place that carries boxing fights and you're going to enjoy it more. And you know what's also a shame is that at the end of the day, man, this is taking away all the steam from Canelo. Triple G, man. Like,
it is.
I feel sad for those two guys, man. So sad that I'm even thinking of. I'm just gonna fucking bite the bullet. I'm gonna go watch that fight, man. It's a fucking no. It's like no matter what happens, that fight's gonna be amazing, and no one's even talking about the fight, man. I feel bad, man.
Well, you got 45 seconds if you want to talk about it, man. I mean, we might be out there. We'll have a huge announcement if everything works out.
Yes, huge announcement coming soon. So stay tuned in the coming weeks.
The announcement obviously will only drop on overtime, though.
Which you must be on a Patreon. So go to patreon.com/theboxing.
Jack and Jose's call to do promos. Damn, Matt.
50 extra seconds.
Nah, I'm sorry, Jose.
Just plug your MMA show while you're at it, man.
Mixed Combat Radio on Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, etc.
Yo, I heard that you're up to like 5,000 subs now.
No.
Oh, Bruce is a jerk then.
Yeah, Bruce, fuck you, dude.
Bruce ain't shit. Oh,
Jose, from the top, bro. Go ahead.
One last thing I did want to say, man, that made me proud, man. When I was going through like the stories of the day on Twitter, I saw fucking Ness and Matt there, man. That was hilarious. You guys there at the Mayweather thing, man. So, you know, you guys are putting in that hard work. You're getting the eyeballs on you guys. So keep up the hard work, boys.
Well,
that's it, man.
It's thanks to guys like yourself. You know, for those that don't know, Jose is a boomerang on our Patreon, which allows us to do things like go personally to Mayweather's gym and get that, you know, exclusive content, be in the UFC gym for Conor's Media Day. So thank you to you, Jose.
No, my pleasure, boys. My pleasure. All right, I'll catch you guys in overtime, all right? Peace.
All right, peace. Overtime, which you can find on patreon.com/theboxingvoice. Who's up next? It looks like we have our IG master who was actually in Fallon, Nevada, covering Gabriel Flores Jr., right?
Yep, Mr. Top Rank.
Mr. Top Rank.
I won't deny it.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick ski. What do we have here now?
Boxingvoice.com.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
What's up, fellas? Yes, sir.
What up, Mr. Lemon? How are you?
I'm Fowler, Nevada. Matt, doing good.
Yo, I just want to say shout out to this guy for getting backstage in the warm-ups, getting that all-access treatment.
In the ring, bro. Listen, I just wanna tell you here. Listen, I want to tell you here, Alex, that your video isn't up because of the software. Just we'll leave it at that. But now it's gonna go up after the show, obviously. But yeah, that Callisto Madeira footage was awesome. He got exclusive. He was in the ring. It felt like you were part of the camp, bro. Yo, but I ain't gonna front. Yo, you did a great job, and I know your boy is really high. And yo, he looked good. That left hook was serious, but yo, he was hurt off a jab, man. Wasn't that a jab that made him stumble like that?
Yeah. It was maybe a straight. Might have been a straight, but yeah.
Yeah,
but
yo, he got on,
stunned,
baby.
Though,
He got on.
It did look like it.
Oh, he says he wasn't stunned. He was just on Bambi legs, huh? But look, he got good composure. He put his hands up real quick. Boom, tight left hook. Got. Homeboy was down for the count. He didn't even move after that. But yeah, so what's up, brother? What's going on?
I got that. Oh, nothing, man. They Fallen Fights, man. Terry Lane over there treating the Boxing Voice right over there, man. Just want to give a shout out to him. And I witnessed tremendous talent over there, man. Gabriel Flores Jr. Everyone should go check him out, man. At the Boxing Voice YouTube, it will be up. And then the Kilo the Kid, man, with vicious power and Top Rank Boxing. I know it's gonna be funny me saying this because I'm Mr. Top Rank, but Top Rank Boxing, man, the future is bright, man. And
yo, you got some news to break too, right?
I sure do, man. They by Kilo the Kid starting on Monday, which is tomorrow. He'll be with Triple G's camp, man. He'll be helping him train over there. And for those who don't know, Kilo the Kid has also helped spar with
David Benavidez.
Mm-hmm. Definitely over there at Big Bear, which Sean Zattel was just over there for the Boxing Voice. Boxing Voice is everywhere. And then he also was helping Daniel Jacobs when he fought with Triple G. And one more. He was also helping Andre Ward for the Sergio Kovalev fight for the 1 and 2. So that's somebody you definitely got to check out.
This kid's only 7-0.
Only 7-0 with 4 KOs, yep.
And what's his full name?
Anybody could get it, man. He says anyone can get it.
His full name is Kilo the Kid. Callisto Madeira.
Yes, everyone go check him out. He's definitely a super hot prospect right now.
Yeah, he's getting that good work. I mean, just look at the names. I mean, he's in there with Benavidez, Triple G, Daniel Jacobs.
And we see this like with Vladimir Klitschko in the heavyweight division when he sparred all those up-and-comers. Look at where those up-and-comers are now.
Joshua. Yeah.
All of them.
Right.
Tyson Fury was there as well, I believe, wasn't he? Or did he not?
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. But go ahead, Mr. Top Rank.
Y'all know about Tyson Fury. Hey, but man, and we all know Daniel Jacobs, that last fight with Triple G, man. I mean, that was a tough one. He looked really good. So being in there with an elite, man, that's what what you get, the results you get. Hey, not to go on the topic real quick, man, Paulie's not promoting this whole thing. He is defending himself. Dana White broke the rules of etiquette, man. When it comes to boxing, you do things on camera and off camera. And sparring, if they saying there's no cameras, there's no cameras. And for him to release a 1-minute clip, of course, Dana White would show a clip favoring McGregor. Which it's inconclusive. We don't know if it was a push. To me, it was like a little bit of a push. Now, but release the whole 36 minutes if you're going to break the rules. if you're going to break the rule anyways, why not release the whole thing so that we can see the whole picture? And so for Georgie talking about we should show respect to McGregor. McGregor has shown boxing or the rules no respect. So in turn, I'm supposed to give him respect? No, there's professional courtesy that's being broken. And so for Paulie to defend himself, I don't blame him. Because who's going to let someone just shit on you over and over and over, and you're not going to say anything, you're not going to defend yourself? You want the truth to come out. So I'm with that. And if Mayweather does, on your thing, Ness, if Mayweather goes 12, it's not good. Because I'm going to hear from all these UFC fans and all these casual fans that how could Mayweather go 12 rounds with a guy that's 0-0? So that's 0-0. You know what I mean?
That's when you school them and tell them why it doesn't matter.
Very quickly, we cannot be upset at the footage being leaked because Paulie wanted it leaked. Just throwing that out there.
He wanted the 12 rounds.
You can argue about the picture, absolutely, but the idea that how dare he put out the footage? Well, Paulie was asking for that knockdown to be put out, and it was, or alleged knockdown, I should say, alleged.
The picture was released.
Now, Paulie was asking for all of it to be released, and I think it was either Dempsey or it was Stainless. Somebody else who previously came on brought up the fact that the footage stops there. Why not? If it was a legit knockdown, you have a Hall of Fame referee who would have called it a knockdown if it was a knockdown. Why not show the definitive evidence? No, dude, come on. Why not show the definitive evidence of Joe Cortez counting, of separating them, putting them in the corner, calling it a knockdown? Why not do that? It would it would have included
it's creating discussion.
Yeah, but also dude, you even said it earlier that by releasing this footage, it gets us all talking about it. Regardless, no, dude. If he would have released it with Joe Cortez counting him or anything like that, it would have done just as much. We would be talking just as much because we'd be talking about how he did knock down Paulie Malignaggi because Paulie had only been knocked down by Kano, Porter, and Cotto. So it would have done just the same just by showing that little clip of Cortez doing the count. I can't remember which one of it who brought it up. It was Dempsey or it was Stainless. Shout out to the ringers. If you're not a ringer, go on to Patreon/Thaboxingvoice and become one. Sign up. Get into that extra footage and then you make these awesome points. Once you become, believe it or not, once you start doing that, once you start getting on the Patreon, you immediately start being able to develop these amazing points. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm good, man. Yeah, I think I hit all my points. Now you guys got something for me.
Now, Alex, we're going to go to the next caller, but thank you for your awesome work, Mr. IG Master, Mr. Top.
On overtime for sure, Al. Let's get to the 301-604. 301-604. First time caller?
Nah, I probably called. Last time I called was Adrian Broner versus Paulie Malignaggi, man.
Damn, it's been a long time. Hope you've still been listening.
Oh, yeah, I still listen. I just haven't called in a while, man. I still listen. Trust and believe. I still listen. And,
all right, so tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This Brandon calling from the DMV.
All right. Talk to us, brother.
My first thing I want to say is I don't think that was a knockdown. You seen the hand behind Paulie's head. You know what I mean? And clearly, they cut it off when Joe Cortez was ready to wave. When he waved, it was not a knockdown. That's my first thing. And also, I want to point out for Conor's media day, when Floyd was talking, Floyd said Conor would be doing a lot of switching, doing a lot of movement, burning a lot of energy. And when I looked at Conor's media day, that's exactly what he was doing. A lot of switching stances, a lot of unnecessary movement. And it looked like he was breathing heavy to me. Do you think that could have been a mind game that he was playing with Floyd? Like he listened to what Floyd said and did the same thing? What do y'all think?
Who knows?
Yeah,
I think that we have a very hard time telling what is fabricated, what is choreographed, what is orchestrated with this entire event. So I have no idea if that was on purpose or not. And again, I didn't really see it. I was there. I didn't really see or notice that he was tired, to be honest.
Right,
yeah, as speaking as someone who saw,
it was more of breathing out of his mouth more than tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, speaking as someone who saw the footage but wasn't there personally, I'm sorry, but speaking as someone who saw the footage wasn't there personally, I would have to agree with like Matt and Ness. They didn't notice any anything subtle that would have been evident to them. I mean, these guys know what they're talking about. They didn't seem noticeably tired. I don't think that he was. I think it is easy to make that argument about the correct proper breathing, but it's hard to tell.
And for the record, Conor McGregor is still a supreme world-class athlete and a combat sports champion in his own sport. So let's not act like he's a complete bum, like he is some jobber they picked up from the club fighting scene. This guy is a supreme athlete. I'll put it there.
No, I'm not saying that, but still, we do know that he has cardio issues. You know,
Yes.
a lot of weight on his shots. Even Joe Rogan says this guy uses a lot of energy and he tires out late in those rounds. So that's something to look for. I think Floyd's going to do a lot of body work.
Well, all right,
But that's my
Brandon.
call.
Thanks for calling in, and thank you for still listening, man. Damn, he said since Broner Malignaggi, that had to be like 2012, maybe, or sooner. I don't know. But good.
It had to have been 2014, early 2014, late 2013, because Broner fought Maidana after, and then after Maidana beat Broner, he fought Mayweather, I believe, for the rest of 2014. So that must have been like late 2013, probably. I think it was like December 2013.
Well, the Malignaggi was before the Maidana, so.
Oh, you're right.
I know I went to Texas 2012 for that Maidana fight. I think that happened in.
No. That was in 2013. That was in 2013 because it was.
Producer, check it out. I'm going to get to some callers. We're going out to the 334-733. 334-733. First time caller. If you are, let us know. We'll play this first time caller intro. You tell us your name, where you're calling from. 334-733.
First time caller. Name is Tony.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Oh, does this go blank? Like, I just lost all feed.
No.
Never called before.
You just got to go ahead and give us your name
Okay.
and where you're calling from.
All right, gotcha. It's Tony, and I'm calling from Texas. Anyways, I just want to comment on the Paulie Malignaggi sparring with Conor McGregor. First off, I do agree in the fact that Cortez did wave his hand.
Tony, can you speak into the phone, please? Tony, you sound a little far away. Get off speakerphone. You're very far. You're distant. Can you get off? There you go.
Is this better?
A whole lot better, brother.
Okay, there we go. All right, so check this out. The knockdown that's in question, in my opinion, and I have boxed 32 amateur fights, 2 city level Golden Gloves, it was definitely a knockdown. He got hit by a straight right, with a back left hand because Conor McGregor stands southpaw. Now, after he got hit by that left, you'll see Paulie starts to sway down to the ground. That's when Conor came over the top, and this is why I believe it was ruled not a knockdown by Cortez. He puts his left over Malignaggi's head, and he comes underneath the uppercut him. Now, that's an illegal punch. You can't hold somebody's head down and hit him. But as that was going on, he was already on his way to the floor. He was going down. That's a knockdown. I'm sorry. And the thing that's even worse about it is when Paulie talked about it, he said that the round that he got knocked out in was around the 7th or the 8th. And he said he was beating Conor McGregor from the 5th to the 10th, which really puts into question how good he was doing because he looked like he was getting worked over. Even though it was really sloppy work by McGregor, he was working him. He worked him. And you could see. Now, I do agree that they should never, ever release the full footage because that gives Mayweather ammo to look at and dissect how he fights. Right now, he's a mystery, an enigma. You don't know how he's going to move. You don't know the crazy shit that he's going to do because it looks crazy when he hits on the bag with the slapping punches and all that shit. So I think it's smart not to show any more than what they show, not to get back to the point he got knocked the fuck down.
Well, Tony, thank you for your call and expertise. 32 fights, brother. Thanks for that, man. That's impressive. And he won some Golden Gloves. Shout out to Tony. He said he was from Texas, Matt?
Yes.
All right, Tony from Texas. We're going to stay in Texas, but now we're going to Dallas. Gary, talk to us.
Yeah. I didn't knockdown. Has anyone seen a knockdown? Has anyone that called yet called it that a knockdown in the sparring tape?
Because I didn't
The
see
last
no
caller.
knockdown.
Last caller
was
was called
Tony,
a
right?
knockdown.
There's a couple callers that have said that.
I didn't have they. All right. I didn't see a push either. I thought it was a slip. You know, Paulie said that Conor was getting pissed off and getting beaten and pushed him down. I didn't really see that either. I thought it was more of a slip, something like that. But Paulie did get caught with a shot. Paulie got caught. Paulie made it sound like he was just giving him a boxing lesson. From the little bit they showed, it didn't really look like that either. But it kind of caught him flush with the left hand, and that doesn't look good for Conor because it didn't buckle him, it didn't send him down, it didn't knock him down. I mean, Conor caught him flush and didn't really do anything to Paulie, right? I mean, if this is supposed to be a big hitter that if he hits Floyd, it's going to be good night for Floyd, it doesn't look that way. I mean, it barely looks like Conor knows how to put two punches together, right? I mean, did you see him try to follow up? I mean, he hit him with one shot, and it looked like he had no idea how to put two punches together. I mean, I don't think that made Conor look very good. It made him look barely amateurish. It made him look like, a kid getting in the fight in the backyard who has no idea what he's doing. I don't think that tape looked good for Conor. I mean, what do you guys think?
I definitely think that the punch that landed, the step that hit Malignaggi in the center of the ring was certainly more powerful. It seemed to have had more oomph on it than the punch that quote-unquote knocked Malignaggi down. So I agree with you in that sense. However, I also have to take into account the fact that they are wearing headgear. They're wearing heavier gloves. Maybe what we don't know right now is maybe Conor's power does not translate to in 8-ounce gloves the same thing it means in 4-ounce gloves. We haven't seen that either, so it's kind of hard to tell right now. But I would say that considering it's sparring and the headgear and the 10-ounce gloves, it's kind of hard to be determined. It's hard to determine how effective Conor's power will be and whether we should gauge it based on that.
The other thing I wanted to say is, in UFC, how much of there is there really proper punching in the sense of how much does Conor know how to turn his punches over? I mean, you have to worry about in the UFC getting your legs taken out, getting your legs kicked out. How much is he really sitting down on his punches? How much is he transferring his weight from his back foot to his front foot? How much does he? I'm not trying to sound funny. How much does he really know how to throw punches? And transfer his weight and turn his punches over, and how does he really know how to use his power?
Well, I mean, he was
size of it. I mean, doesn't he look huge?
Yeah, he does look huge. But remember, he did start boxing. He didn't start in MMA. He started in boxing. He did have some amateur fights in Ireland. That is just facts. He stopped going to boxing gyms when he was like 16, I believe. So, but again, he still uses boxing in MMA.
Hey, Matt, I seen Paulie with some quotes that McGregor would have more power, more luster behind his punches if he did use proper technique. Paulie was criticizing
he has the best technique. I'm not saying that, but to say that he has worse technique than maybe everyone in all pro boxing, that's not true. I think that his technique is comparable to maybe top 20 guys, I would say.
I think what the recent caller was alluding to was that if he did have appropriate technique, or proper technique, maybe his power would be more, I don't know,
effective.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
True. And absolutely. But remember, not necessarily you remember, but everyone listening, Conor McGregor is known as a knockout artist. He is known to have power. And also, it has been studied, 4-ounce gloves and boxing gloves, 10-ounce gloves, that the disparity of pounds per square inch is marginal. It's very marginal. It's we're talking about 760 pounds per square inch compared to 740 pounds per square inch. Yes, there is a difference, but it's very small and is not significant.
It's also worth noting, as McGregor did, that in that sport, you're allowed to hit an opponent while they're down, while in this sport, they're allowed the time to get up, recover, and essentially evade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed.
All right. We're going out to the phone lines.
Was that a duck sound for me?
Yes, it was, JP. You're going to take that?
Amazing, amazing. I like that shit. Hey,
got a spot open on Border Wars. Just saying.
Oh man, well shit. Let me do it. It's a good Sunday. It's a good day for that. So who y'all got me with the butterbean dude? That's why y'all want to do that.
JP, call in for overtime because Ness is gonna be upset that we're talking about Border Wars right now. You know, Ness, Mr. Young Ali, Mr. Diva.
Yeah, Ness, I'm definitely going to talk about that on overtime because I seen that fight with that dude. And we'll just call him that dude. Yeah, Paulie, I listened to the podcast also. What's obvious is that what happens when a dude starts falling inadvertently? What's usually happening? The guy is weakening. It's usually a symbol of a fighter who's going to be getting beat soon. So Paulie on those two knockdowns or whatever it was, looks like he's getting beat up, man. Now, Paulie said he took 10 out of the 12 rounds. He admitted that he lost the 11th and 12th on his podcast. But it looked to me like, I don't know how clear, and let's be clear, how when Paulie thinks he's winning a fight, it's not very decisively. You know, Paulie, what's Paulie doing at this point to beat McGregor? A few jabs here and there. I don't see Paulie putting together any kind of punches, sitting down on anything significant to hurt McGregor. And if the footage we've seen was in the 11th and 12th round, McGregor looks pretty damn fresh for those 30 seconds or so. Ness's whole theory about the if Mayweather goes 12, it's a loss for boxing. I slightly disagree because Mayweather is Mr. 12 rounds. You know, I don't know if it's in Mayweather's nature at this point to really go after a guy. And I kind of subscribe to the same theory of Mayweather is going to kind of be a Bernard Hopkins, especially at this point. You know, we might see a lead right hand here and there. But and it's been years since I've seen Floyd put 3 punches together. So I don't see Floyd opening up now. He's just averse to that kind of opening up. I don't think it's a matter of whether it's the opposition. I just don't think it's at this point. He just psychologically can't do it. So the next big fight, if I'm not mistaken, is Crawford and Ndongo. I just want to ask you guys: does anybody know how good Ndongo is? Because the only fight I've ever seen is the Trinowski or whatever the knockout, the first round, you know? So other than that, we have literally no gauge unless you guys can add something to it. No gauge.
He fought Ricky Burns. He fought Ricky Burns, common opponent.
Oh, shit, Ricky Burns, man. I hate. Well, I think Ricky Burns seen his best day years ago. So I don't know if that's a good gauge either. But, yeah, so I'm excited about that, and we'll see a bit of history with Crawford unifying the entire division. So that's a good thing for boxing. I'll see you guys in overtime.
All right, JP. Let's go out to Skype. We got a lot of people out there.
Are we hitting drive-by?
What time? Oh, no, it's only 9. Still super early. Let's go out to Alexander Bully. If I'm not speaking to you, please mute your microphone. Mute your microphone. Whatever comes up. Thank you. Alexander Bully, talk to us.
Yo, boxing voice, cuanto tiempo, man. But yo, I'm gonna get straight into it. Ness, you my man, but to say that like boxing will be hurt if Mayweather does the 12 rounds is just ridiculous, man. Like last time I checked, the art of pugilism involves hitting and not getting hit. So as long as Mayweather doesn't get that Paulie Malignaggi left hand that he caught, and he just boxes the shit out of him for 12 rounds, masterpiece, ain't no shame on boxing. And even so, I don't think Mayweather cares anyway. And yeah, just to touch on the knockdown, like I don't really care about the knockdown. Paulie got to explain that second video, because that first right hand that came from that second video where the sweat flew off his head and his neck went all the way back and then he snapped off his head and rolled off the canvas was not good, man. It was really, really not good. From a boxing perspective, and Paulie, my man, that looked horrendous. He got to explain how
he was retired and out of shape.
Like, listen, is he not a 2-time world champ? And this is a guy that ain't fought 0-0. And you get in your head nearly rolled off the canvas to be picked up by the cut men in that.
Who,
like,
Mystic?
No.
Who, Mystic Matt? The special one?
The special one that was getting worked by Chris Van Herding. Or whoever the fuck that guy is. Come on, man, stop it. This is Paulie Malignaggi we talking about.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He got to explain that. Because, boy, for his credibility, that's what's going to knock his credibility. Not the fact that he lied. The fact that he took a right hand from a bum like Conor McGregor. I'm out.
All right, we're going to stay on Skype. We're going out to whatever comes up. We need a name and where you're calling from, buddy. First-time caller?
Yeah, first-time caller.
Where you calling from, my friend?
Australia.
Australia. Nice. So what's your name, buddy?
Nick.
Nick, talk to us.
All right, I'm going to give you a little criticism here. Even though I enjoy the show, I enjoy both of you. I've got to give you a little bit of criticism. When you're talking about Paulie, when you're talking about all the shit, I can literally hear the bias coming out of you. I can hear the bias in the entire boxing world. Even last night at the Hall of Fame, when all the boxers are getting interviewed, you can hear they don't want to say it's a knockdown. But some of them were honest enough. You listen to Shawn Porter, knockdown. You listen to Jesse Vargas, who's the biggest Conor McGregor hater in boxing there is. He says it's a knockdown without actually saying it direct. That's what he's saying. So as much as I enjoy the show, and I'm a boxer, by the way, I've fought boxing. I just want people to speak facts. Even if he beat the shit out of Paulie, it doesn't even mean he's going to touch Mayweather. It doesn't. But at least, in the very least, just speak facts. That's all I want to hear, facts. Because Paulie lied multiple times, and he's been plucked hard. He's been plucked lying. He fucking went on all these interviews. After the first sparring, Conor released one image, the hands behind the back. He went on these interviews, and it's not necessarily his fault. The media is coming up to him, and I like Paulie too, for the record. The media is coming up to him, so it's not necessarily his fault. But he's sitting with Spence. He's sitting with Porter. He's sitting with all these boxing guys. If you watch actually all the interviews, not just selective ones, he's laughing at Conor, pretty much mocking him, saying his left hand is severely overrated. That was his exact words. He's saying he gasses. He's talking about all this kind of shit. Like, bro, what do you expect when you're going to go back there? What do you expect is going to happen? And then he's lied multiple times in different interviews. He said different shit. Now, he's either lying or he is genuinely concussed, and I wouldn't put it past, after seeing a little clip of footage, I wouldn't put it past the bro, because he said he was beating the shit out of Conor on the ropes, working him, and out of frustration, Conor pushed him. That's his exact words. In some interviews, he said it's the 8th round. Some he says it's the 11th. Some he said it's the 12th. And then he's also he's changing how it happened every time. But every time he said it's a push, he's saying he whooped his ass, and another one saying, nah, he got the better of me. I swear to God, bro, listening to him as a fighter, but trying not to be biased whatsoever, it sounds to me like he dead set got the shit beat out of him, and he's almost like he does not remembering it correctly. Conor's team said they will put it out after the fight. Obviously not going to put it out before the fight. That's just stupid. That's a dumb argument from everyone. So, well, I guess we'll wait and see, and I'll be glad to eat my words if I'm wrong. But man, I believed Paulie when he was going on these interviews. I was actually thinking, fuck, that's a little bit dirty from Conor to do that shit. But think of.
All right, my friend. That bell is that was the 10-second warning and your final round bell. We give each caller 3 minutes. Want to thank you for calling in.
Very
Go
quickly.
ahead, my co-host. Very quickly.
That was a great call, by the way. He is biased. What, Ness?
Well, he did say, he wants us to speak facts, and the bottom line is no one knows.
We don't know what the ruling was, but everyone has their own opinions about the knockdown. That's
Exactly. Like the same way that, Porter and Malignaggi, Porter and let's say Jesse Vargas, was his argument, say that it was a knockdown. You got Terrence Crawford doing a McGregor challenge on his Instagram as we speak. So, you take it for what you want.
Well, very quickly, that's not really what I want to talk about. the one thing he did say about the bias, and it's not really about us, I would say. I mean, yes, it is. I mean, Steven doesn't like MMA. You don't like MMA. I'm the
Dude,
MMA
I'm
guy.
totally biased. You got to show me feet up if you want to prove to me it's a knockdown.
No. It's not about that. We're purely talking about bias against the sport, and that the boxing media, overall, generally speaking, has a bias against MMA. They do. They've had it for a very long time. The culture of boxing has a bias against MMA. People like me who love both sports are rare. We are the small minority. You have either MMA fans or UFC fans now, because mainly we don't have MMA fans. We have UFC fans. We have NFL fans like that. And then we get boxing fans. And that's it. I don't know why you're playing the music. I'm just explaining that there is an inherent bias within the media. And the bias is evident within this own panel, because Steven, every time I post anything about MMA, comments on it and talks shit about MMA. You talk shit about MMA. Hold on. You talk shit about MMA all the time too, Ness. I'm just saying there is biases here. Own up to it, accept it, and we can just move on. You know, I find it's okay to have biases, but be okay, but address it.
In actuality, there's no bias. You know why? Because you're an MMA guy on a boxing show, so I'm showing no bias as the owner.
The show may not have bias, but you personally do. You call MMA gay.
Whoa!
Let's just be honest. Like, and maybe you don't say it anymore because me and you had that discussion off air.
Are you pulling a Dana White right now? Are you throwing shit that was undisclosed out?
People in this chat say that. They call MMA gay.
Play the again.
There is this disdain. And then you have MMA fans or UFC fans going, oh, well, MMA is the real sport. Boxing's for pussy.
There it goes right there. Michael James London. MMA is real shit.
Yeah, you know, like you have inherent biases.
So is boxing. He says so is boxing. So there you go. Listen, let's get out to the call. We're going to go out to Hands of Stone, the most critical man ever known. Hands of Stone, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
It's been a while, Hands. How are you?
You can hear me, yeah?
We hear you. We hear you.
All right. So before deciding if Paulie's right or wrong, etc., what you need to do is a bit of research and go back in time to look at the character of the person. He once talked smack about Golden Boy Promotions. He joined them. Talked smack about Al Heyman. He joined them. Straight after almost crying after the Bronner fight, complaining about how Al Heyman fighters get the decisions and whatnot, he joined them. And then for many, many years, to one of the best fighters of our generation, he's continued his crusade, his personal crusade, to say that he was on PEDs. That's Manny Pacquiao. I'm about consistency. I don't care if he done that, as long as he continued to accuse others of the same thing, which he once did to Shawn Porter, and then he stopped as soon as they stepped up to him. So for me, Paulie's a bitch. He's inconsistent. He's a known liar. He's a hypocrite. And yes, look at the hypocrisy in him. He's going onto Twitter, going to all these interviews to defend his character, his image, his whatever you want to call it, because he doesn't want people to think he's not bang. Meanwhile, spending years on years accusing one of the most beloved fighters of the sport that he's a ped cheat, and he still continues to do this to this day. So Ness, I don't know if I think you got a clear bias for Paulie, bro. Respond.
I have no bias. I have no horse in this race, unfortunately.
I'm biased.
I get you, man. I'm just simply giving all sides of the story.
I tell you what, saying I'm a packed hard. I'm not. Believe me. I don't care if he was juicing. I think most boxers are probably juicing.
Whoa! Who called you a packed hard?
No, I'm just saying because I know someone will definitely say that in the comments, right?
Why?
That's inevitable.
Why?
Why? Because
Pacquiao wasn't even brought up in this conversation.
Yeah, he was.
Bringing him up.
But why would you bring him up?
To look into Paulie's character.
Oh, because he talked about Paulie, because Paulie talked about him, because he shared time in the gym with him?
No, let me explain. Because he's accused Pacquiao for many, many years of PEDs without proof, right? And now he's bitching on Twitter and in interviews about his image that he's trying to protect so badly. Meanwhile, trying to destroy an all-time greats image for years on years on years. That's hypocrisy.
Is it hypocrisy, really? I mean, he did train out the wild card for many, many years. And that was...
stories are that he wanted to spar Manny and Manny didn't think anything of him to spar him. So he's been butthurt since that day.
So he comes up with a story that he's on PEDs.
No, because Floyd came up with that, and then Paulie ran with it like a personal crusade. And like I said, that with all the other things, such as joining Al Heyman after shitting on him, joining
Hands of Stone. You know what that is. You're gonna have to move up. Sorry. Everybody move up.
Hey, shout out to Hands of Stone for calling in once a year.
A long time. But you showed your bias, Pactard, by calling yourself a Pactard. You know, like, yo, listen.
Oh, so like if I say like I'm not a Triple G fanboy, it automatically makes me a Triple G fanboy.
Automatic.
Okay.
Automatic.
I see what you're saying though. That's kind of true.
Automatic. But let's get on to Hands of Stone. Thanks for calling in. Nas J, if you don't send a friend request, you won't be able to participate on the program, Nas J. You have to send a friend request on Skype. Add Nestor Gibbs, NESTOR GIBBS. Obviously, you want a space in between the R and the G. Let's get on out to what looks like 203. I want to say, is that the Connecticut? No,
it's not DC. I know that.
DC. No,
DC 202.
I don't know. 203. First time caller. 203.
Yeah, first time caller.
All right, I'm gonna get and play this first time caller intro.
Yeah.
Let the world know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
What up? What up? This is Nas Jam from American, Connecticut.
Nas J, you was just calling in on Skype?
Nah. This is my first time calling ever. I've been listening for about a year now.
Did you say your name was Nas J?
Nas Jam. Jam.
Oh, Nas Jam. All right, all right. Damn, that's so weird. Eerie, like we had a Nas J calling in simultaneously on Skype.
Yeah, first time caller. I've been listening, like I said, for about a year. The whole Paulie and McGregor thing, for me, I almost feel like it's sometimes kind of made up. I don't think McGregor stands a chance in this fight. I think Floyd is just way too experienced, way too smart and intelligent. He's a scientist inside that ring. McGregor thinks with the quick hands, the style, and I understand he can crack, he can pop. He's a fighter. But as far as in a boxing ring, I think Floyd wins. And like you said earlier, Ness, Floyd has to knock the kid out. If he goes 12 rounds, to me, it is a bad blow for boxing.
Thank you.
True boxing fans, I don't think that Floyd should let the kid go 12 rounds and say, I earned my money. I think he should knock him out and go for the knockout and show what he's made of.
Especially a dude that doesn't have a fucking boxing record, bro. Like, yo, we're talking Sugar Shane Mosley. He accomplished something. Oscar De La, like those guys did something, but like, I'm not saying Conor hasn't done anything, but not in this sport. That's like saying, you know, any baseball player could put on a football helmet and become the next fucking Brett Favre. It doesn't work that way. In rare occasions, though.
No, I think Floyd is just.
There are anomalies.
I think Floyd is going to be the same Floyd that he's always been. McGregor's banking on his quick hands, his power, his strengths of moving around. And like Floyd said in Total Access, switching around from orthodox to southpaw, I think that's going to also wear on McGregor as well. I think Floyd, like I said, he's a scientist. He's going to stay there. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait out those first couple of rounds to let McGregor feel him out. And after that, I'm hoping that he goes in for the knockout and takes him out. I don't want to see a 12-round fight, not with somebody who's never fought professionally in a boxing ring, especially fighting the greatest, you know, one of the greatest in the last 10 years. You know, I don't think he should last that long. 5 rounds, I would say, 5-6 rounds. But that's just my own opinion.
Well, all right, Nas Jam. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Nestor.
Thank you.
No doubt. I'll be calling in again soon.
Sweet. Can't wait. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get that notification anytime we do go live. We're going to go out from the 203 to the 816. Kansas City Mac, a.k.a. Virgil Hunter. What up?
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's been a minute. Just pay homage. Appreciate what y'all doing. Got a few things on this McGregor and Mayweather fight. I never seen McGregor on that speed bag. I never seen him not once hit a speed bag. You see all these other fighters hit a speed bag, so that's first and foremost on that one. And then on this amateur background, I've been doing my homework, man. This man only had one amateur fight. One fight, I think it was a knockout. No, that's it. McGregor, all these other videos, just smoke screen. He's gonna come in there with some other stuff. Besides that slap punching he did with Paulie, I'm not even gonna touch too much about that. I think it's just a smoke screen. But for McGregor to say he doesn't have a chance, and then you got to say Mayweather has to go in there and knock him out, I'm going to say he doesn't have to. He don't have to do anything. This man's 40 years old. He's been off for 2 years. He's giving you this fight. He's known for going 12 rounds. He's going to get his man boxing lessons. Hey, you can go ahead and play that music all you want. I don't care. Mayweather ain't got to do anything. Mayweather ain't got to do nothing but go out there and win. He never cared about putting on there. It's all about getting a W. Smarter, not harder. And to compare it to baseball and football, we didn't see football players go to baseball and go to the World Series. We ain't seen no baseball player become a football player. That's why McGregor's different. Respect this man as a man first. Respect this man as a man. So you're going to keep playing that crybaby stuff. Mayweather going to go in there, outpoint him, and get out of there. If the knockout comes, it comes. Stop that with that crying stuff. Mayweather ain't got to do anything but go get the win. I watch both fights. I watch both MMA and boxing. So I'm not biased. I can't be biased. I love sports. So respect McGregor as a man first and foremost. But he does need to tighten up. He's going to get caught. Stupid. Them wide stuff, them little awkward little bouncing around, he gonna get caught with one. So if he puts himself in the knockout area, then he's gonna get knocked out. Mayweather ain't gotta do anything. It's Mayweather. He's 40. It's a moral victory for him if he wins. Tell the truth. All right, I'm done, Vin. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm out.
All right, Kansas City Mac, thanks for calling in. What happened?
I said bye.
We're going out to Texas. Class inbound. Talk to us.
Hey, what's going on? Sweet. So there wasn't many fights to talk about, so I guess we'll talk about this. But first of all, real quickly, just for the little rumor mill side. So apparently, the talk with Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, the WBC will soon have a proposition that will make everyone happy. So hopefully they give Stavern the mandatory shot after the Ortiz fight. Also, Lomachenko and Arum, apparently Arum offered a contract to Orlando Salido and to Guillermo Rigondeaux for Loma's next opponent, so that's super exciting. But on to this. So first off, let me clear a couple of things. A guy said a right hand. No, it wasn't a right hand. It was a left hand. That left. Floyd doesn't use the Philly shell on left-handed fighters because it doesn't work on left-handed fighters. It's not the same. Also, headgear. A little side note for people who headgear. Yes, it can help stop knockouts, or it'll protect you, but it's mostly used to stop people from getting cuts, and it's mostly used to stop getting cuts. That's why they wear the headgear. It's not necessarily like a thing that'll stop you from getting knocked out. That's a big myth. It'll help a little, but it's not a big giant cushion for you. So that but yeah,
especially not from an uppercut, because that shit does not protect your chin at all. You get an uppercut, you're going down.
Yeah, so like, and I've been hit by these shots before, so like I understand, like it'll provide barely anything, but it is a difference, but it's not as much as people want to say. But here's the thing, though. So I'm not really bothered with whether it was a knockdown or not. I don't care that Paulie got hit with that. What I care about is the fact that Paulie changes his story. I don't appreciate that. Like, Paulie is the same guy who has, been adamant about Manny Pacquiao for years about Peds, and like you guys know how I am. I demand concrete evidence for anything that gets brought up, anything. And if you don't have any evidence to back that up, you need to shut your mouth. And for Paulie to go in and tell tell basically a fib and cry wolf, and then get mad when video gets leaked, not putting him in a good light, when he tells the story and then he changes it later, I'm not cool with that. We call that fake where I'm from. That's fake. So whatever you want to say, it is what it is. It fake. But it still won't matter because Conor's going to get schooled in the boxing ring. It is what it is. I don't care if Conor was hitting, Shawn Porter. He could have hit, I don't know. They're looking at video of apparently spat for sparring. Like, nobody cares, dude. It's going to be the same result at the end of the day. And then nobody will care. People will say, oh, Floyd was supposed to win, and we'll move on from this. Because that's all it is. It's just an event. It's not really a competitive fight in any way. So that's it. But, hey, Ness, real quickly, I told you guys, if you guys need a co-host, y'all need to hit me up. Y'all told me to hit y'all up, and I never got anything back. So what's up?
We got a little busy, but we'll do it off air for sure.
All
right. Let's get to the 778. Are you available?
Hello. What's going on? I can't believe I actually got fucking through. That's crazy.
You got through. First time caller?
You bet.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the first time.
You guys for a while, though.
All right, perfect. I love to hear things like that. I'm going to go ahead and play the first time caller intro. Then you let the world know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut,
Michael James London from motherfucking Vancouver, Canada.
Ha Canadian bacon, what's up?
That's right. How much time do I got? 3 minutes?
You sure do.
Okay, little intro. 42 years old. I've been watching boxing, obviously, first for a long time. Gotti Ward trilogies up in Canada. I'd seen them all. It was great. Prince Nazim came out. Wet My Pants. Was awesome. Roy Jones Jr. come out. Wet My Pants again. Awesome. I'm a casual boxing fan, but I've been watching it for a long time. Tyson did that bullshit, broke my heart, but I still seen all his pay-per-views. So anyways, here we go. Can I school you guys in what's really going on in this whole situation?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's all a motherfucking setup. Conor, we know, is a fucking sick fucking striker, MMA fucking superstar. I've been watching him since the beginning, and I love him. But this is all the setup fucking to see if he can box and transition over and do both to bring some fucking excitement to everybody on that front as well, because I think he loves it. I don't think he likes getting taken down. And okay, Paulie was brought in basically to see if he can actually box on a real level like that against someone like that. Yeah, Paulie, not Conor, whatever. The fuck? I don't even give a fuck if he got knocked down or any of that. But this, he's always looking forward. So if Conor beats fucking Floyd, holy shit, the fucking internet's gonna fucking explode, and he can pick anybody the fuck he wants in the world to fight. But if he does all right against them, even lasts fucking till the 10th, and then goes down from being tired, because we all know his cardio is questionable, but he's a motherfucking sick striker. Okay, and if he does good, guess what the next fucking fight is? After he goes back to MMA, maybe fucking fights there, but I doubt it, because even with Paulie fucking McGiggles, a fight is probably still worth a good $50 fucking million in his pocket. So what do you think?
Well, sorry to tell you that another caller beat you to it and said that McGregor's going to come back and fight Paulie in his next fight. But, Michael, great call. Great call, my friend. We're going to get to some other call. Actually, you got 21 seconds left if you have anything you want to wrap up.
Yeah, Michael, what was it you called this fight again?
Left.
14 now.
What's up?
10.
What was it you called this fight again?
This fight is a fucking great fight. This is
5.
the best thing that fucking we've seen in a whole long time. No? Am I not right?
You are,
And,
Michael. You are. Time's up, but I think so, man. It has multiple eyes on the sport, brother. Great first time call. Thank you for the introduction. We hope you continue to call. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get that notification anytime we go live. We're going out from Toronto to Orlando. Majid, what up?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I seen that sparring, and shit. The way I look at it is, I look at it like Paulie did get knocked down, you know, but I look at it as that would have been official knockdown in boxing, but he did get knocked down, you know. And I'm like, when I watched that shit in slow motion and everything, you could see at the end of his combos, he do a little bit of neck control, weighing him down and throw a punch, and that's what caused him to fall. But like I said, everybody is motherfucking Paulie. How much do we expect out of him? Man? Come on, man. It ain't shit. Paulie not shit, you know. He a world champion and everything, but he retired past his prime and McGregor in shape. So, I mean, that left hand that we seen when he caught him flush and Malignaggi was able to stand, to me, that meant something more than that knockdown, because that was a flush-ass punch. And I'm like, Mayweather, he took a punch. You know, that Mosley shit, he walked through it. He walked through, made Donis center him at round 3. I'm like, this shit is still, to me, just a promo hype, because it ain't proved shit. You know, ain't no type of scenarios that's going to go down in the boxing ring that he showed us from that boxing match. So, I don't know. I think that that's bullshit, but he definitely knocked him down, you know, but I don't think it was an official boxing knockdown. I think that it was more of a neck control, off-balance type shit. But, I mean, casuals that think that it was an official knockdown, the hardcores know what the fuck they looking at. So, it's like an MMA versus boxing on the discussions, because these casuals, they don't know what the fuck they looking at. But that's all I got.
Thanks, Majid. Very quickly, we're going into drive-by mode. If you don't know what that is,
Drive-by.
We're going to take all OG callers, all returning callers at 30 seconds. First-time callers, you get a minute. And then, obviously, after the show, immediately after the show, well, I shouldn't say immediately, at 7 p.m., overtime on patreon.com/theboxingvoice. If you do not know what that is, head on over there and find out.
We're going to the 845-313. 845-313, first-time caller.
First time, long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Freddie from Orange County, New York.
Sorry, what was that name again?
You hear me?
What was the name?
Oh, Freddie.
Okay.
You got me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yo, if anybody watched that video in slow motion, Conor missed every single one of them shots. That looping left hook was the back of his neck. And he went for an uppercut. And he actually missed the uppercut because he can't even box the right way. He's still learning how to box while Floyd is training. And does anybody think those videos are all one shot, like the left to the face? Does anybody think the knockdown came after that?
No, those are separate shots.
Oh yeah, I heard somebody say that it was all the knockdown came after, so it was actually a push down. And if Paulie could eat that straight left to the face, Floyd is going to end this guy in the 10th round.
Well, all right, brother. Well, thanks for calling
that's
in.
my call.
We're going out to Tony in Texas.
Nope, sorry, Tony. We already went to you today, didn't we not?
Did we?
Yeah, I believe we did. Tony and every other first-time caller. By the way, you cannot get on more than once unless you are a ringer.
440.
Go to patreon.com/theboxingvoice to find out what a ringer is.
404-437. 404.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. First-time caller?
Yeah, this is Mel from. No, I called in before. This is Mel from Atlanta.
Mel. Like
Like
M-I-L
Mailman.
or M-E-L? Or M-A-I-L?
M-E-L.
Okay, M-E-L. Mel, what's up?
Not much. I saw the Conor McGregor Paulie Malignaggi sparring. I think it was a knockdown, but in the actual match with Mayweather, I think it would depend on the referee whether or not they'll consider it a knockdown. For instance, Robert Guerrero, when he fought Berto, I think that referee would definitely rule that a knockdown, but the last referee who did Mayweather and I think Berto would definitely had not ruled it a knockdown. So that's my thoughts.
Well, all right, Mel. Thanks for calling in. We're going out to Anthony in Cincinnati. Talk to us.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? I'm hopping on a little late, but yeah. So when the news dropped, that they had footage of Paulie, my heart dropped. I'm like, no, Paulie, no. But I watched. It was a little dirty. I mean, looked like Conor hit him a couple flush times, which I didn't like. But Paulie's integrity, I don't know. But Conor McGregor's live workout, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, he's gonna get his ass beat. I think Floyd carries him to the 7th round, 6th, 7th round, and demolishes him. Probably worse than I'm gonna demolish my opponent, you know. Got some footage coming up too. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Ant. Thanks for calling in. And send that over. 719, first time caller, 719-726. 719-726, first time caller. Going once. Twice. 954, first time caller.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut. Hello?
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
Alan from Fort Lauderdale.
Alan, talk to us. What are your thoughts on this leaked footage of Conor McGregor allegedly dropping Malignaggi?
I don't think it's real because the way that he fell. But I wanted to speak on the match itself. Matt said he didn't need a knockout. Last time I checked, Floyd still got fast hands. So he does need that knockout.
What does him having fast hands have to do with him needing a knockout?
And he's still fast. And he's still a pro boxer. What do you mean?
Well, he's been retired for 2 years. Yes, he is fast. Yes, he's still an athlete, but he's been retired for 2 years.
It doesn't matter. He's still fast, and he's still a pro boxer. And he's 49-0. He better get the knockout.
Will you be upset? Will you think it's a knock on boxing as a whole if Mayweather goes all 12?
Yeah, it's bad for boxing. I don't even like Floyd, but he better get that knockout.
Any other point?
Why don't you like Floyd? And Matt, you ain't even doing no clock. Alan, thanks for calling in. Matt dropping the ball. It is that time of the show where we say we got to go. We got to go. We got to go.
Unless you're on Patreon. If you're a Patreon member.
You're part of the fam. If you're part of the fam, then you're just going to pick us up a few minutes on overtime. Overtime being a spot where we sit back, relax, and chilling out, maxing, relaxing, shooting some b-ball out. Nah. Final thoughts, man. I'm just shocked that we actually got footage so quick. Remember, we kind of did shows on whether or not we would ever get footage. They wasted no time releasing it. So, yeah, man, I mean, Conor, again, I don't know what to think of him. I'm going to continue to assess him the way I took my time with Anthony Joshua because, you know, he showed some things that I like by having his camp being the same camp, you know, at the big dance. That's cool. Last thing you want is one of his longtime boys talking about, damn, kind of cut me off, you know? So I respect that, but then I don't respect the releasing of pictures and footage, you know, from different angles that are not favorable to both fighters. Just smells bad. That being said, does Jose want to come back on?
I don't think so. I think he wanted to come back on for oh no, he did press one again. So yeah, I think he does.
I texted him. He didn't text me back. I texted him. He didn't text me back. I asked him the same question like 10 minutes ago.
He better talk on overtime. So the point is, my final thoughts are, man, I still don't believe it, bro. Until I get clear footage, unedited, give me that. That's that. My name is Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Follow my Border Wars and health and fitness journey blog. Vlog with a V.
Yeah, it's a video.
Vlog on patreon.com, but it is a $7 only. But whoa, day 4 is dropping today, ladies and gentlemen, and it is fire. Fire. We got Matt the Hipster Hunter live sparring with Robert the Rockstar Ortiz from Escape the Fate. Oh man,
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see that full footage before I am excited to see Malignaggi McGregor full footage. I'll tell you that.
Yo,
because we all know Robert pulled a McGregor and dropped some footage on his IG about that. I'm just saying, doesn't show the whole story.
He did drop some footage. But listen, it's Game of Thrones time for some and overtime for others. I told you where to find me. Co-host.
I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. My final thoughts are, this is all show in a way. I don't know what's real and what's not, but it doesn't matter because we're going to buy it. We're going to love it. We're going to hate it regardless. I think most of us have already formed our opinions on this event, regardless of what the outcome is. So I can't wait to just see it. Can't wait to see the chaos that comes from this mega event. It's gonna be a blast. I'm gonna get my popcorn in a blunt and just enjoy it all. You can find me, Matt the Hipster Hunter, at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram. My MMA podcast is Mixed Combat Radio. You can check that on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, etc. And very quickly, again, overtime. If you do not know where that is, type on your browser right now, www.patreon.com/Thaboxingvoice. And you will sign up there, and you can watch another hour of content from us starting at 7 p.m. or 10 p.m. if you're on the East Coast.
And I am Steve Calderon. You can follow me on Twitter at Calderon92 and on Instagram at sugar_steve.c. Final thoughts are that I really don't care how this fight goes because the lead up to it is 1,000% entertainment. And I love chopping it up here. Don't forget to go on Patreon, sign up to Patreon so you can, hear that awesome exclusive audio and video of us chopping it up more in overtime and of also Mad Matt, the Mad Hunter, getting smacked around by Robert Ortiz. Bye-bye.
Yo, you're 0-0. Come on, man.
Yeah, but yeah, you have stock in McGregor. Whatever.
I don't have stock in McGregor. I didn't think he was going to win. He's not going to win a round.
He's not gonna win around. So you gave your social media, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just talking.
So we're just
this is a preview of overtime, guys.
This is bloopers.
Pre-overtime.
This is
pre-overtime.
Blooper time. All right, then I guess we should say goodnight.